Beautiful Taft Stadium as we get ready for some USL action as Energy come back home after a pretty extended road trip, a very successful one at that, as they come away with 2 wins both in U.S. Open Cup as well as in league play. Welcome, everyone. I'm Juan Arango alongside George DiMattelis. George, glad to be here with you. But
yes, sir.
Very important, a big win at the weekend for both teams, not just for Energy coming into this match, but also going to be very important to see how they bounce back and start to gain some momentum.
Yeah, you know, Energy FC, they had that slow start to the season. They're actually on a 6-game unbeaten run in USL play. The problem is most of that stretch have been draws. So now it's time for them to start getting victories. But they came off a big win last week against San Antonio in Texas. So that was huge. That's a big confidence boost. And it looks like Jimmy Nielsen is getting into his starting 11. He's figured out his best 11.
Yeah, he has. But we'll find out more when we return here on the pregame show brought to you by Mass Mutual of Oklahoma.
Every day I wonder if we're getting it right. Parenting, planning for tomorrow, all of it. As my mother says, the days are long, but the years are short. I want to protect what we have and give them what they need. But we're going to need some help.
Reaching your family's financial goals could be easier than you think. At Mass Mutual, we've helped families for more than 160 years. Let us help yours.
I don't think any city in America has come as far as fast as Oklahoma City. And the reason you see so many highly educated 20-somethings moving to the city is that vibe, is that energy.
And we want to be a part of that. We believe our MBA program is just as vital, it's just as interesting, it's just as engaging as other parts of people's lives. We can provide students with this incredible opportunity to learn in the places where they're living, working, and playing.
Soy el Nariz de Chivas. Los invito en Oklahoma el 28 de junio a ver el partido contra el Energy FC.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us.
Hey Energy fans, I'm Brent Skarkey with your Mass Mutual Oklahoma pregame report. No rest for the weary after road trips to Mississippi, then to San Antonio. It's back home in Oklahoma City at Taft Stadium to take on the kids from Salt Lake. Real Monarchs visiting the friendly confines. The guys in green playing well as they get ready to host. OKC undefeated in its last 6. That's including the Cup game, riding a 2-game win streak. But for the Energy, it's their 4th game in the last 10 days. OKC confident, though, they still have enough gas in the tank to get a W.
I think we're okay. We took care of ourselves on the trip. We got lots of rehab, took lots of ice baths. Being home, it's nice to kind of relax. It's not a long break, but one extra day home is nice.
OKC will need their legs and minds to be in top performance as they welcome in the Salt Lake team that is starting to hit its stride. 3-3-3 on the season, coming off a huge win over Orange County and being Real's 2nd team in the same city. You never know who will be making the trip to OKC.
From week to week it varies and you don't know until an hour before kick-off. But do you know what? We're just going to focus on what we do and I know if our boys play to the level that they can, then we'll be fine.
OKC getting healthy as they come back to Taft. Ray Clark back at practice on Monday after hip surgery in the offseason. Colin Bonner with a much more stylish and color-coordinated green bandage on his head, courtesy that bump he took in the noggin against San Antonio FC. And speaking of Colin, he and fellow youngster and FC Dallas guy Coy Kraft with their birthdays this week. You know what that means. What's up? Can OKC get another win, keep their unbeaten streak alive, and climb even higher in the USL standings? We'll see right around the corner. This is your MassMutual Oklahoma pregame report.
Thank you, Brent. And you see right there one of the 11 of this week's Team of the Week in USL. Yeah, Cody Lorendi had a sensational effort against San Antonio, making 6 saves, really keeping energy and, more importantly, keeping San Antonio at bay in that victory on the road. Of course, a major contributor this year for Energy to be one of the least scored on teams, a team that's amongst the top as far as conceding the least amount of goals. So we see right here the starting lineup for Real Monarchs. Of course, a couple of changes coming in. No Schuler, no Lakawecki, no Brody. But you do see Lalo Fernandez a goal with McGovern, Kavita, Orozco, Okwonu, Velasco, Acosta, Torres, Holness, Olmes, Garcia, and Devin Sandoval. The starting 11 for Freddy Juarez, George, a team that really comes into this match, of course, a big win against Orange County Blues, and, of course, they're looking to get back into the swing of things. Meanwhile, we see Energy and their starting 11.
Yeah, we look at the starting 11 for Energy FC, and Juan, you mentioned the defense. 6 goals allowed this season. That's tied for the second best in the league. Only Sacramento have conceded fewer goals, and it's the same starting 11 against San Antonio, as it appears that Jimmy Nielsen has his best 11 out there. It's going to be the 4-4-2 with Kraft out wide on the right, Dahlgaard on the left, and then that back line anchored by Cyprian Hedrick, who has been fantastic at center back for Energy FC. And then Cody Lorendi, 6 saves, clean sheet. He was the man of the match to help Energy FC pick up that victory against San Antonio. And Colin Bonner, and Brent mentioned it in the pregame report there, he has that green headband on, but he scored the game winner last week. So it looks like Jimmy Nielsen has found the starting 11 that is going to lead the team the rest of the way.
It does seem that way, and I hope that green band has some magical powers to keep that good run of form for one of the 2 loanees from FC Dallas who have been able to contribute, both him as well as Coy Kraft, major contributors to this side so far this season. So we'll see what goes on. Meanwhile, you do see right there in Real Monarchs a team that really has started to come into their own, a team that really, under Freddy Juarez, has really shown some good promise. And you'll see what they're able to do as far as being able to attack, especially down the middle. It'll be interesting to see Elder Torres, the man that's currently on loan from Vida FC over in Honduras, to see how he's able to really insert himself and make things happen, as both teams already on the pitch as we're getting close to ending the pre-match protocol here.
Yeah, Juan, you want to talk about a player to look out for the Real Monarchs Salt Lake City. It's going to be the number 10, Ricardo Velasco. Scored 2 goals last week in the win against Orange County. Had the assist on the third. He has come to life. He's the leading goal scorer on the team along with Orellana. Orellana is on the bench for this encounter. He has 3 goals this season, and Velasco leads the team in assists with 2. So if OKC's defense, which has been very good this season, can slow him down, they have a very good chance of winning this game and getting another 3 points and moving up the table in the Western Conference.
So, again, you mentioned one of those keys to try and see what Velasco is able to do. Very creative player, very dynamic player that can cause a lot of mismatches for Energy. Again, Energy looking to remain tight. Remember, we were talking about that in the past couple of matches, as Jimmy Nielsen has been adamant about looking to keep his team tight, to keep them compact, and to try and keep the spacing proper in order to be able to really get some clean passes and better execution both on defense and offense.
Yeah, the key here for Energy FC, you talk about the attack. You know, Oklahoma City has a KD for the Thunder, right? We're talking about Kevin Durant. Well, there's a Danish duo with the KD as well for Oklahoma City, and that's Koenig and Dahlgaard, the 2 Danes in the starting 11. Those 2 can connect and work their magic, especially Dahlgaard from the midfield. They will be a very dangerous side, and they could break down a Real defense that has given up 10 goals this season. So look out for that Danish dynamo duo of Danny Koenig and Sebastian Dahlgaard to be effective in this game. Look out for those two to really try to break down the defense. Koycraft obviously is going to be important, and Bonner scoring last week. But those two, the KD of Oklahoma City Energy from Denmark, those two are going to be crucial.
And from Denmark right there, the coach, of course, Jimmy Nielsen. On the other side, we were talking as well, a team that scored 10 goals but also conceded 10 goals so far in this campaign in Real Monarchs, looking to see how they are able to neutralize this potentially powerful energy attack, although we've seen it on occasion sputter a bit. But when they've been able to really get the advantage and really get the upper hand, you do see a totally different set of circumstances. As soon as they go up, it's very hard to really be able to relinquish that lead from Energy. Meanwhile, for Real Monarchs, a team that really has a very young side, has a really interesting nucleus as far as their spine is concerned, as far as what they've been able to produce so far. So it'll be very interesting to see things from that perspective as we are almost underway here at Taft Stadium. Again, I'm Juan Arango alongside George D. Metellus. Glad to have you on board, as we're just waiting for indications from referee Greg Dupka making his USL debut. So it'll be Real Monarchs in their away whites, while Energy in their home green and white strip. And we are underway here as both teams really looking to go at it quickly and often. Of course, coming into this match, it's been Real Monarchs really looking to see what they can do to get a little bit closer, currently in 7th place with 12 points. Energy, and also put a little asterisk on the side when it comes to their particular record, of course, in 10th place with 10 points after that win in San Antonio, is looking to make something happen from the onset. It's, again, Energy looking again down the wings. It'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a reset here, looking for Michael Harris. Again, as I mentioned, 10th place, 10 points, but also remember, they've only played 7 matches. This is number 8 right now. Harris looking to see how we can launch that ball near the 18, or near the top of the 6 at least. The ball bouncing around. Koenig was there. Again, it gets cleared out at the very last second. And again, we are starting to see a Energy side looking to press, looking to go forward, and
well, not yet. They got the ball deep enough in the third where they're just, going to throw the ball in there, try to get Koenig and Bonner. But when they do, the ball gets into the midfield, they're going to have to put pressure on the back line. They want to press that back line. So right now, yes, early on, it hasn't quite materialized that way. But as the match progresses, they're going to, when the ball comes out and the Real Monarchs get the ball out in the back line, they're going to want to put pressure.
Again, take 2 as Bonner into the area, comes very close on the second header there. Bonner able to put it in the middle, but that ball flicked just wide of target.
Yeah, between Bonner and Koenig, you have 2 players that are tall, that are skillful in the air, can finish with their head, and so that's what they want to do when they get the ball into the attacking third, especially on a throw-in situation or set-piece situation. Get it to those 2, let them get their heads on it and cause problems for Lalo Fernandez and go for Real Monarchs.
Fernandez, who around 23 years old, former Peñarol man over in Uruguay, spent some time there. As you start to see again, Energy wanting in spurts to really go and attack and then take that first shot. And the ball back into the middle. Energy recovering it well. As it was Devin Sandoval losing it, but it goes all the way back to Cody Lorendi. Sandoval giving a little bit of pressure, but again, it's Lorendi having the ball deflected, and it'll be Energy's ball again off the goal kick. So yeah, you do see Energy being the more ambitious side early on with that excursion that they had in the early stages of this match, albeit it's still 3 minutes in. We'll see what goes on. Morelos is a proud partner of Energy FC. Get shopping done and buy your Energy FC tickets at all 3 Metro Supermercados Morelos locations. Locations are Northwest 23rd and Meridian, Northwest 50th and Meridian, and off of Northwest 5th and I-35 in Moore. Again, Harris, not a lot of room to do his front flip. Here's Koenig, the shot ends up going wide, and again, you have to try and see what can be developed a little bit better, but still you do see ambition and you do see a proactiveness on Energy to try and attack.
Yeah, so far they've done well. With 4 minutes in, you see them having most of the possession in their attacking half of the field, so that's a good sign. They just have to maintain that. That's the key right now. Looks like Real Monarchs, they're just struggling to put together a couple of passes, and that could work in Oklahoma City's favor very early in this game. They have to get a goal early, really try to take the momentum out of, or the energy out of Real Monarchs Salt Lake.
Here's again another deep ball, but it went out of bounds as it was intended for Bonner, of course, last week getting his first goal with Energy. See right there, pretty nasty bump he took.
Little sacrifice. That's
yeah,
small sacrifice for a goal. Yeah,
of course. But when he
victory,
scored,
yeah.
I don't think he felt it until pretty much, well, as soon as he had to get it taped up. But
yeah,
nonetheless, a very valiant effort there by the youngster. There's Boyd Okwonu. Again, Koenig battling in the trenches, looking to make something happen as it goes back to Biscoff. Bonner losing the ball, and it goes over to Danilo Acosta.
So
good,
far,
yeah, good effort there.
So good pressure, I was going to say, by OKC. You can tell that Real, they just cannot get that ball out of their own half right now. And that's good pressure by OKC. Now they just have to play with more composure, you know, string together a few passes, and they can break this Salt Lake City team down.
And deep pass again. Good work there by Koenig as he's able to bring the ball, keep it in bounds. Again, Energy, but this time committing a foul, recovering the ball. So Real Monarchs will get the ball, and it'll be 6 minutes in, still no score, but we do see both teams still kind of feeling each other out, seeing where the spaces are, but it's been Energy that's been the more dangerous side up to now, as you see right there, Michael Biscoff.
Well, it's important for Energy FC. You remember Brent mentioned it in the pregame. 4 games in 10 days, but you're at home. So it's important to get that energy out there, be aggressive early in the match, try to get a couple of goals early, put it away so that at home comfortably you can kind of, I don't want to say cruise through the last 80 or 90 minutes, or excuse me, 70 to 80 minutes of the game, but you definitely want to make it easier on yourself to do that. So if they can get a goal here or two within these first 10 minutes, in the next 5-10 minutes coming up, that'll make their legs a lot fresher for the rest of the match.
Ball coming through, and it's Lalo Fernandez recovering. Not a lot of play from the Monarchs so far. Really trying to get some fluid play, really trying to play it out the back as you're mostly accustomed to seeing Real Monarchs / Real Salt Lake really wanting to keep that ball on the ground. Haven't seen that yet. So we want to see how they quickly start to implement that concept. Again, goes to Bonner, loses it. Good work there as it was Emilio Orozco stepping up. Koenig stepping through is a good opportunity, but very clever there and very intelligent, very alert play there by Lalo Fernandez as Energy really looking to find those spaces, have been able to do so, but not being able to be so precise as of right now.
Well, yeah, Koenig just got caught offside. His run is just a hair too soon. If he waits maybe a split second later, if he holds up his run a split second, he's going to be one-on-one against Fernandez.
Costa looking out wide, intended over to Ricardo Velasco. And having to get him involved would be very key for Real Monarchs in order to start seeing that offense generate some very important opportunities, which we have not seen already in the 8th minute of play. The ball back into the area. Energy able to clear it out, but still not out of the woods yet, as again it's Okwonu trying to serve it in. Bonner battling alongside Acosta, and now here's a counterattack, but foul was called prior to that, so we started to see.
Well, you see the defensive commitment by OKC. I mean, everybody is back, even Koenig, even Bonner, Kraft, Dalgard. So the defensive commitment by Energy is very impressive to start this match.
Oh yeah, I mean you do see that. You do see that there's a commitment. You do see that they're moving around very well collectively. Let's see how they're able to translate that into really more opportunities. Again, here's Sandoval looking back into the middle as you do see Energy really pressing. Out wide again is its Wholeness. Sandoval now back into the middle. Wholeness again. Out wide it goes to Okwonu. Okwonu dashing through, and it goes over to Olmes Garcia, the Colombian. Swinging it through, looking for Sandoval, but not being able to get it. Now here's Energy on the counter, but it's Koenig that has to forcefully put on the brakes, and now he's continuing to press forward, but again, it's Real Monarchs with the ball.
Well, Sandoval just got into a wrestling match with Hedrick in the area. I'm surprised that the referee didn't call a foul in favor of OKC on that play, but it's going well for them right now.
There's Dalgard full speed ahead, gets around one defender, has some good movement. Oh, had Kraft right there. Dalgard still opening up in the shot that goes over. And a great chance here as Energy showing some great speed on the counter, great transition, and once it got to Dalgard, he really started leaving defenders along the side there. But again, the difference that could have been made there was that run by Quake Kraft that really forced Dalgard to have to go out wide.
Yeah, he couldn't quite square it back to Kraft because there were 3 defenders in his path, so he had no choice to take the shot. Maybe a different pass before he starts making the run there, or kind of holds up a little bit, wait for Koenig to go outside to his left. That might have been a good option, but you can't blame Dalgard there. That's a good effort, and that's something that's going to be available for them as the match progresses, because it looks like Real Monarchs, their back line is playing very high. And we've seen already Koenig with an offsides, that Dalgard chance. The spaces are going to be opening up for them if they can continue to see them and exploit them.
You see Dalgard moving around more towards the middle. You see him roaming around. And it's Bonner dropping back, going out wide to Kalen Wright, and gets his first touch of the match. Biskov back into the middle, moving it around very well. Energy. And it goes to Harris. Tries to cut it back inside. Has some time. The shot that gets deflected there at the last second. It was past the goalkeeper, Lalo Fernandez, but it's fortuitously saved there by Fernando Cavita.
That's some great footwork and passing there by OKC. Look at Kraft. He's waiting for it. He's wide open, unmarked. He settles it. It's a great shot there, and it's just a big-time save there. But well done by OKC to get that space, recognize it, and then take advantage of it. Unfortunately for Kraft, it didn't go in. But that ball out wide to Harris was great.
Check that. It was Orozco on the save, and now trying to swing it out there. Does send it to Olmes Garcia. Garcia looking to serve it into the top of the 6. Fighting Sandoval, and he's going to get called for the infraction against Cyprian Hedrick.
Looks like he got.
Oh yeah, he got licked pretty good.
Yeah. Those two have been wrestling each other for about 3 minutes. The last 3 minutes, every time the ball gets into the area. So that's something to watch for. And now with this happening, I'm sure the referee's going to be on top of it even more. But Sandoval and Hedrick, that's a matchup to continue to watch out for as this match progresses.
You see the fans there enjoying this Tuesday evening over at the stadium. But again, it's interesting.
I wonder how long it takes for them to make those head games.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it
it would look good on you. That's all I know.
But no, man, no. Green ain't my color.
Okay. But you start looking at one particular movement that you've seen so far in this match, and it's Dalgard pretty much. You're more accustomed to seeing him play on the wing, but now you see him running back inside towards the middle, and you really do see him take control and be the one that's directing traffic, if you will, in that middle sector whenever Bonner's not dropping back.
Well, here's the thing to watch out for. Dalgard and Kraft, because of their pace and their dribbling, they're starting on one side, but they have the freedom to move around. Remember the goal against San Antonio? It was Kraft connecting with Dalgard, who was making a run to that far post, and then he squared it back into to Bonner. So Dalgard has that freedom to do that, and as long as the space is there with Bonner dropping back a little bit, and even Koenig dropping back a little bit to try to recover possession, that leaves space for Dalgard. So if he can continue to bother the Real defense with his movement off the ball, and he can connect with Kraft in that matter, that'll be huge. And why Fernandez doesn't pick up a yellow card for time wasting, even though we're in the 20th minute. I just don't understand. He should have been.
Wait, we're not that far ahead. Oh, man, come on.
Yeah, but he's playing around with the ball in the 19th minute. She got a yellow card for that. That's ridiculous. There's no need for that at this junction of the game.
Energy FC's next home match is Saturday, June 25th at 7 p.m. at historic Taft Stadium. Take advantage of Energy FC's Family 4-Pack. Get 4 tickets and $20 in concession cash starting at $80. Call 235-KICK or visit energyfc.com/Ticket Central for more. And Energy, here's Danny Koenig. Lets that ball bounce a little bit too much. Again, it's Gavita being able to come through in a big way and send that ball out of bounds. Still bouncing around a little bit too much. Allowing it to do so was Danny Koenig, but it'll be a throw-in for Energy FC. Another chance is we're already in the 15th minute of play and no score at Taft Stadium.
Look out for Bonner and Koenig here. This one's going to get floated into the area. Look out for those two big guys for the headers.
Going near. It's Bonner getting it. Ryden serving it through, but it's cleared out again, this time by Riley McGovern. Piskov drops it back to Cyprian Hedrick. Recycling play, resetting all over again. Now Energy trying to be a little more direct, but maybe a little bit too direct as it wasn't right in the path of Sebastian Dalgard. And now Okwonu, Boyd Okwonu fighting for that ball, the former University of North Carolina man.
Well done by Dalgard to put the pressure on him. Unfortunately, didn't lead to a turnover into possession for OKC, but it's a message. It's a message sent to that back line of Salt Lake City that, hey, you are going to be under pressure the entire game. We're going to test to see how well you can dribble. We're going to test to see how well you are in terms of composure on the ball.
And good job by Bonner trying to send it to Koenig. Does get there, but again, a good anticipation there by Riley McGovern as at least to attempt a break. Here's Biskoff. Again, it's Dalgard down the right. Here's the chance, the shot that's saved by Lalo Fernandez. And another great opportunity that goes astray there for Energy. Danny Koenig cannot believe it. Had all types of time, had pretty much multiple angles to choose from. In fact, that's Michael Thomas, I'm sorry about that. Had lots of time, but again, not being able to come away with that final shot, that final touch that would have given Energy the lead.
Yeah, they got to do better than that. He's got to do better than that.
I guess he was had too much space in front of him, and now the ball just floating out of bounds. It was blasted out. It would be another corner kick for Energy.
Well, if you look at that, the replay there, the ball kind of, it takes a weird bounce. He's got to settle it first. He tried to just one-time it and didn't hit it cleanly. If he settles it first, decides where he wants to go and picks his spot, he could have scored. He would have scored.
Here we see the supporters at the stadium. Ball coming through, punched out there by Lalo Fernandez, trying to clear it out. Finally, still not out of harm's way as Energy looking to start another wave. Here's Biskoff going out wide. Not enough room there for Kalen Ryden to do what he wanted to do there. And it goes out of bounds for Real Monarchs.
Biskoff doing an excellent job of kind of playing free safety back there for OKC, to borrow an American football expression. Just able to regain possession whenever Real Monarchs try to clear the ball out and win it back. He's doing very well as that kind of safety valve back there in front of the back line of OKC.
It's Olmes Garcia looking for Devin Sandoval, but it was surrounded by 3 men in green, continuing to press forward, just pushing the ball as best he can is Danilo Acosta. And swinging it out wide, going into open space. Now trying to make something happen down that left-hand side. As again, it's Riley McGovern sending it out, looking, finding, but the only thing he does find is Michael Harris, who clears that ball out to touch. Quick reset. Again, it's Energy really converging on the ball, not really giving any space whatsoever for Real Monarchs to be able to create their offense, and another counterattack brewing here. Koenig looking in the middle. It was Bonner was making his run. Goes to Dalgard. A little too heavy on the touch, and he's met right there by Omar Holness, the former #1 draft pick for Real Salt Lake, 5th overall pick this past year.
Great speed.
Good ball, but not enough room, as it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, the touches are there. The space is there for Energy FC. It's just a matter of making that right connection right now. But the space is there. They are finding holes. Real Monarchs Salt Lake, I should say, their defense is giving up a lot of holes. And their midfield, the holding midfielders of Holness and Acosta, have been non-existent in terms of slowing down OKC or plugging up those spaces. So it just seems like it's a matter of time. If OKC can get that right connection of passes, it's just a matter of time before they score.
Again, Sandoval, 50-50 ball, does not win it, but still causes a lot of problems. Gives it right back to Monarchs. Again, trying to open things up, trying to use the wings a little bit more. As it comes in and goes out is Danilo Acosta. Back into the middle, it goes to Elder Torres, man from La Ceiba. Orozco. Deep ball again. Andrews easily finds Dalgard, but Dalgard can't control it, and it goes straight up in the air, skied up. Not much that can be done there. A bit of confusion in the middle, but the team that really begins to control and dictate pace in the middle obviously will be the one that has the upper hand. We'll see which one is that team. As of right now, it's been Energy by a little bit, and only because they've been able to transition so well on offense.
Well, I wouldn't say, I'd say a lot. I think they've been in firm control of this match. I haven't seen, Monarchs haven't given Cody Lorendi anything to worry about so far in this game. They've been, OKC have been controlling the midfield. Biskov has done all kind of sweeping in front of everyone in the back line there, protecting the back line a little bit. OKC are looking strong in the midfield right now. Now it's just a matter for Real Salt Lake now. For the Monarchs, they have to slow down the pace a little bit. They keep playing long balls like that, and it gets turned over. So they have to be a little more poised. Just play the ball on the ground, try to take some of the energy out of OKC's midfield and attack so right now.
Hedrick goes to Harris. Both defenders knocking the ball about, trying to find the open space as it's Hedrick finding a fan.
Energy fans, don't forget to turn in your raffle tickets.
Tell Hedrick that's not the strength of his game right there. Backline distribution, that's not his strength. But,
well, I mean,
he is one of the best defenders in the league, but unfortunately, backline distribution is something he's going to have to work on. But when you talk about his marking, he's one of the best.
Michael Thomas falls a little awkwardly there on his hip. Crash landing there right on the turf. Not a very pleasant feeling whatsoever. Just trying to gather himself again, but that was just look at the way, if you hear on the replay, the way he ends up falling after the challenge. Right smack dab on his hip, actually on his lower back.
They're asking for a foul there.
He's asking for a foul there, but
Torres
none,
looked like he might have undercut him a little bit. Yeah.
None will be given by referee Greg Dobka. Of course, he's accompanied by Wade Beal and Brandon Query, the two assistants. Fourth referee, Lance Stewart. OKC Energy welcomes 11-time Liga MX champions Chivas in a historic event at Taft Stadium on June 28th. Don't miss the world's best Take the Pitch in OKC. Tickets are available at all OKC metro area Morelos Supermercados, and the goal there's being scored by Real Monarchs. Again, a great opportunity and a great chance. You only need one, and that's all they had to have, and they take the lead 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunately for OKC, it was just poor timing. The only chance they've had so far, the Monarchs, to go on goal, and it works, just slips under the hand of Cody Lorendi. But Sandoval using his body to create some space and create an opportunity to turn and get the shot off, and it's just unfortunate for Lorendi, who was fabulous against San Antonio, that it slips under his hands. But the lone chance that Monarchs got, they were able to convert it.
But again, it's his ability to use his body.
That was key.
Matched up against Cody Andrews, turned around, and not much that Lorendi could do after the shot was taken. And by the time he reacted, the ball was already in a position where he really couldn't do much. Got a piece of it, but still not enough to be able to deflect it away. His first of the season against Sandoval, looking to cause a lot of problems between the two defenders, just trucking through, just trying to make something happen, but not being able to do so.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate there. The lone chance that they've had, were able to convert it. Just a bit unlucky. It might have been difficult for Lorendi to see because of the way Sandoval had positioned his body between him and Andrews.
Again, now you see very inspired Real Monarchs. Miskov gets taken to ground. Let's try this again. OKC Energy welcomes 11-time Liga MX champions Chivas in a historic event at Taft Stadium on June 28th. Don't miss the world's best. Take the pitch in OKC. Tickets are available at all OKC metro area Morelos supermercados at both Energy FC team store locations and by calling 235-KICK or visiting energyfc.com/Chivas. And after being able to get through that one, we continue, and Energy now are the ones that kind of have lost a little bit of that proactiveness, that straightforwardness in their attack initially. Now it's an inspired
Monarchs. Well, it's psychological, really. Tactically, Energy have been the superior side so far in this first 25 minutes.
And now you see Dalgard trying to get things started again. Kraft.
Oh, well done.
Good job there of being able to keep the ball inside. Good work again on the counter there. Is you see a very strong, a very steady effort there by Real Monarchs. And again, Cyprian Hedrick goes to the ground. Boy, he's just been hammered so far the past couple of times. And both times, of course, by Devin Sandoval, the native of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
It's getting to the point where Sandoval might have to see some cards here, because it's, what, 2 or 3 times that he's been in some kind of physical entanglement, if you will, with Hedrick, and neither time has he seen a card or anything like that. The referee just gave him a verbal warning after the 3rd time. He's going to have to produce a card next time.
Kalen Ryden to Dalgard. Again, it goes to Bonner, who finds Ryden. Now he's going to try and take it down the line. The cross will be a corner for Energy now down the left side. And again, you do see the good ball movement. It's just not translating into good opportunities in the middle.
Well, yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And now Monarchs are going to be very defensive now that they have a 1-goal advantage. So it just seems like it's a matter of time. When you put that much pressure and you have that much more possession and movement, it's just a matter of time before the goal falls.
Stover going to the far post. Cleared out. Thomas just shields that ball, waiting to see if it goes out of bounds. Reset here. Energy on the cross. Interesting to see what's going on here as you see, of course, getting tapped there and getting knocked off the ball. No foul there either, I guess. Looks like it's just going to be a throw-in. We'll just double check to see what the indication was by referee Greg Dubka.
Like to see your defenders get a little physical there.
Yeah, that's
fine.
That's fine as long as the referee don't call it, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't call it. And if he does call it, hey, that's all right. Message is sent. As long as it's on a card, that's the key right there. You don't want to pick up cards. But so Kalen Ryden, it looked like he commits the foul there, but he doesn't get a card. So it's all
got bumped,
good message.
So play continues now. Back into the middle it goes as Energy looking for answers, looking to find a way back into this game. So they start out early with a great deal of intensity, but so far as we reach the 27th minute of play, Energy really have lost a bit of that impetus, especially after the Devin Sandoval goal. Here's Michael Harris. Obviously not offside off the throw-in, so good move there by Danny Koenig trying to serve it back into the middle. A shot!
Oh!
Golazo! Danny Koenig! Unbelievable bit of play. Great heads-up work. Tremendous shot that he unleashed. Danny Koenig equalizes at the 28th minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what you call a center forward's goal, a striker's goal. The technique, the power, the finishing, that man is one of the best in the USL. Magnificent striking. We're saying it, Juan, it's just a matter of time. When you consider the movement, when you consider everything that has been built going forward for OKC, and as you mentioned, he's not offsides, and he was able to win his ball. Look at he uses his body to win the ball, and then just brilliant technique right there. That is great. That is why he's one of the best players in the USL.
Tremendous bit of work. Definitely a nominee for goal of the week, ladies and gentlemen. So keep going. Now Energy feeling it. Trying to go down again, trying to take the lead again. Here's Energy with a chance. The shot there. not too precise there by Cody Kraft as it goes right into the hands of Lalo Fernandez. And now we got a game. Now we got some interesting stuff going on back and forth after Danny Koenig's 3rd goal of the season. Ball bouncing around. It goes back into the middle. Cody Andrews looking to calm things down.
What you like about that goal by Koenig, he used his big body to win the ball, to free himself into space so that he could just run onto the ball. But also, it's a pretty quick response. Remember, Sandoval scored 22 minutes in, and then 5 minutes later, Energy respond. One thing about going down 1-0, especially at home, you never want to give the opposition confidence. The longer they have that lead, the more defensive they get, the more confidence they get, and the more desperate the home team gets. So the fact that Danny Koenig got that equalizer 5 minutes after they went down is huge for the confidence and obviously for the momentum.
And trying to take advantage of the spaces there between Kavita and McGovern. Not the best angle, but again, good effort is now it's Real Monarchs looking to open things up. Here's Okwonu. Run being made by Olmes Garcia. Stops because he doesn't see the ball coming through. Deep ball is Sandoval just trucking through. Trying to go through whomever and whatever in order to get to that ball, but it goes right to Cody Lorendi.
And I think Lorendi has to be a little more aggressive there. He has to not wait for Hedrick to make a play on it. Says, this is my penalty area. I'm going after it. I'm getting the ball. And usually, especially goalkeepers, anytime they get any kind of contact on them in the area, the referee's going to call it in their favor.
And Sandoval being aggressive, just disrupting, helping Real Monarchs get the ball back.
Tackled by Hedrick.
Good run. There's Velasco now trying to make something happen on the outside, but it gets cleared out by Harris. Trying to battle for it. Here's Koenig. There's Bonner at the top. Morelos is a proud partner of Energy FC. Get shopping done and buy your Energy FC tickets at all 3 Metro Supermercados Morelos locations. Locations are Northwest 23rd and Meridian, Northwest 50th and Meridian, and off of Northwest 5th and I-35 in Moore. Another foul being called. I mean, you've seen some good bit of physicality so far in this match, and both teams, they're not backing down, and you see right now, unfortunately for Ricardo Velasco, he's down, and he got the worst end of it, so we'll see if he's okay. And he's been very dynamic, as you mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, George. Velasco, 3 goals and an assist in his last 2 matches right there. And just spectacular as it seemed. Of course, the one that got the worst part of it was Velasco's. He drove his head into the turf. Hopefully not too serious.
Velasco was the key player for the Monarchs in terms of the attack. You mentioned how well he's been playing the last couple of games, and he had those 2 goals against Orange County. So if he goes out, that's going to be tough for Monarchs to try to come back here and pick up 3 points on the road. Although he has been very quiet in this game. He's done 0 in this game so far. Hopefully he's okay, especially when you talk about head injuries. You always want to be extra super duper careful. So hopefully he's okay. But in terms of his impact in the game, he has had 0 impact in this game, which is a good thing because you want to slow down the opposition's best attacking player, and they've been able to do that. OKC has been able to do that so far.
As you saw right there before, you saw Jimmy Nielsen, as usual, really trying to work that sideline and then really start talking a little bit, giving a little bit of dialogue to 4th referee Lance Stewart.
It's part of the game, right? Work the officials.
Work
part
the
of the game.
officials. Part of the unwritten job description.
Yeah.
As the fans again just have to be pleased with the result up to now. That's the first time since Danny Garcia scored in the early stages of the match against San Antonio in their last home game prior to that stretches. Again, Harris launching that ball deep, really causing some problems, but this time it goes right back to Real Monarchs as we're already into the 33rd minute, up to 33 minutes now. George, what have you seen? What do you like? What don't you like?
Well, what I've seen in terms of what I like from OKC is how they've been able to exploit a porous back line of the Monarchs. They've been able to hold on to most of the possession. Dahlgaard is getting touches, Kraft getting touches. Bonner is dropping back, trying to win the ball. And defensively, everybody's tracking back. So that's a good sign. You're seeing good movement up and down the pitch by Energy. What I don't like is the goal, obviously. Sandoval can't, if you're one-on-one and you're a defender and you're going up against a forward, you can't allow him even to get that shot off. So the one-on-one defending was a little shoddy on the goal. But other than that, it's been a very good first half so far for OKC. And if they can get another one before the break, that would make things even better, obviously.
And the ball back into the middle. It's Torres making the run, leaves it for Ornes Garcia. Sandoval and Cyprian Hedrick going at it. You see them both right there. Holness out wide to Okwonu. Energy defending as it's Kalen Ryden getting some support. The ball gets crossed right into the path of Cody Lorendi. I think that's the first time he touched the ball. Well, other than the goal that he got a piece of. That's the only time that we saw him get the ball and start distributing. Now Energy looking to answer back. It's Corey Kraft. Slowing down a little bit, but trying to make sure that the passes are a little bit more concise. Bonner. Energy looking to move it around as Dalgard down the near side. Goes to Kalen Ryden. Thomas dashing towards goal as you don't see anyone really going other than him. Thomas back in the middle, another chance!
Oh, well worked.
And another opportunity as he's able to find Thomas, and for a second time, Thomas finds the goalkeeper.
Yeah, well worked there between Dalgard and Ryden and Thomas. And Thomas was unmarked through the middle. Koenig got there a little late. He wanted the service, but it was the proper pass by Dalgard looking for Thomas. And unfortunately, it didn't go over the line into the back of the net. But that's the kind of movement. You saw that play built up from all the way in the back. And you talk about 9 or 10 passes, very intelligent, very calm. You mentioned it, concise, precise passing, and it led to a dangerous goal-scoring opportunity. That's how OKC have to play for the rest of this match. And if they do that, they'll get a couple more goals.
Thomas. Ryden. 36 minute of play is a deep ball intended for Bonner. Goes out of bounds. And again, you start to see how they're operating, moving from one side to the other, trying to find the spaces, seeing what they're going to be given. And Bonner.
Every time Bonner goes out wide, somebody needs to make a run toward that near post so that he doesn't get pinned in. He has a bit of an outlet. It seems like every time he goes wide, Dalgard drops back. And I think Dalgard needs to cut inside of him and get into the penalty area so that at least Bonner has someone to service. And it makes the defense lay off of him a little bit, knowing that someone is making a run.
And looking to go far post. The header that goes through and into the back of the net. It goes. Energy take the lead yet again. What a play. What a bit of finishing there. And again, this is Cody Andrews getting his first of the season. Energy up 2-1.
Well, this is something we mentioned earlier. Off corners and off throw-ins, the aerial game of OKC is going to be huge, and we saw it there. But it wasn't from Bonner or Koenig, but Cody Andrews is a tall, big central defender, and Hedrick actually was there as well. But it's Cody Andrews using his size, using his very smart player there, making that run to get in there and get the header down and score. So the set pieces have been killers for OKC as well, especially when you have three big bodies like Andrews, Bonner, and Koenig.
And again, very wise, because usually you're accustomed to seeing the central defenders run straight down the middle. Right. You're not accustomed to seeing them making runs on the far post. So that's another thing that really threw off, if you will, a little bit this Real Monarchs defense.
Yeah.
Now we have to talk about another. It was originally the goal by Sandoval. Okay, how's Energy going to react? Now 2 gets scored. Now how's Real Monarchs going to respond?
Well, that's, to tell you the truth, there's nothing that I've seen so far that suggests that they can build up an attack to get back at OKC. The way OKC have been playing with a lot of confidence, excellent ball movement. I haven't seen anything from Monarch to suggest that they can kind of do the same thing. They just threw the ball away there, Okwonu. So
now here they get it back, and it's quickly by Elder Torres sending it into space. Is Olnes, he's not going to get it, and it'll be a corner kick for Real Monarchs as we're into the 38th minute of play. Of course, that goal credited to Cody Andrews in the 37th. His first goal of the campaign.
And real quickly, no one ever expects the central defender to make a run to the far post. And as you said, it threw off that Real Monarchs defense on that set piece.
And swinger coming up from Torres. It was intended to swing, but it never did. And it goes out. And Still Real Monarchs with the ball. Deep ball again, and again it's Andrews coming off, going on the side there, and trying to make something happen is Kalen Ryden. They're trying to set up him defensively one more time. Okwonu back into the middle it goes, and it's a very good move there by Danilo Acosta. Acosta, of course, before they were making the trip to, as it's Hedrick, it goes off of Harris. And finally, it'll be a goal kick for Energy. But interesting to talk about Danilo Acosta just before, right before him and his team were traveling to Oklahoma City, gets a bit of a ceremony as he became a U.S. citizen just days before,
Congrats.
just a couple of days ago. And really, for him, he was saying it was one of the proudest moments, obviously, and it was a very emotional setting, of course, because it was a private ceremony with his teammates there as well. So very interesting to see that, as well as we start to see Energy again try and pin them back in their own half. I'm talking about Real Monarchs, who seem a little stunned, but they've always come out punching even when they've been scored on, especially in this match.
Congratulations to Danilo Acosta, native of San Pedro Sula, Honduras. And so it's always good when you can celebrate with the people that are close to you. I'm sure he doesn't, I don't know what his family situation is, but to have your teammates that become family when you come from another country, have them there to celebrate, it really is special and it makes him feel good. So it's congratulations to him, and you gotta love the team spirit of Monarchs around that situation.
Again, Energy, and one of the big options, at least it's been working today. Again, Dalgard, too many Energy players crammed in one little bit of space, and coming out cleanly again is Danilo Acosta. Holness and trying to move that ball around our Real Monarchs, but not being able to do much.
Looks like they get pinned. Real Monarchs haven't, other than the Sandoval goal, they get pinned toward the sideline, really out wide and too far out wide. That's making it easy for the OKC defense to defend them, for lack of a better word. But they just seem to get pinned out wide, the Monarchs, when they do get the ball. You haven't seen much up the middle by the Monarchs.
Trying to find a way through as Sandoval, moving back and forth. Velasco keeps that play alive by keeping it in bounds. Him as well as McGovern knocking it around. Now again, it's Torres. Acosta making the run inside, recovering it.
Big Bonner dropping
right
back
there as well. Young Jamaican. Ball being served, and Lorendi able to tap that ball over. It'll be a corner kick for Real Monarchs as they're able to see if they can get an equalizer at this stage in what's been a fairly interesting and very back and forth first half so far. Energy FC's next home match is Saturday, June 25th at 7 p.m. at historic Taft Stadium. Take advantage of Energy FC's Family 4-Pack. Get 4 tickets and $20 in concession cash starting at $80. Call 235-KICK or visit energyfc.com/Ticket Central to learn more. Ball top of the 6. A shot almost going into those, didn't even go out of bounds. It curls somehow, some way in play. The chance, the shot that goes just wide of target. Unbelievable what went on there. And again, you do see a little bit of that wind whipping in. You saw exactly what it does. It seemed like it was going right there. You see that goal back there? It seemed like it was going to be hitting one of those holes. But somehow that wind whips it right back in, keeps it in play, keeps the sequence alive for Real Monarchs.
But this is also sloppy defending as well. There's some sloppy defending there. Hedrick leaving his feet. You saw Buskov not exactly doing well to control it. So Energy FC very lucky that one didn't go in.
Again, it's Elder Torres. Getting his third start. And we're seeing some really good work from Torres, being able to be the one at the controls. This is Okwonu having to track back quite a bit and sending it back all the way to Lalo Fernandez.
And that 4-3-3 by Freddy Juarez. Elder Torres is the man that has to lead the attack, create opportunities, especially up the middle. And so far, Energy FC have been able to keep him out wide, and it makes it a lot easier to defend.
Again, it's Holness. Out wide it goes to McGovern. He's being marked tightly there by Michael Harris. McGovern starting to run out a little bit out of room, but Coy Kraft right there to take that ball away, but it'll still be in possession of the Monarchs, but continuing to press, continuing to battle up top is Danny Koenig. When is he not battling and looking for that ball?
Him and Bonner.
Him and Bonner have been tremendous so far.
Excellent. Yeah, just defensively tracking back, making themselves part of the defense. Two more bodies that Monarchs have to sift through in order to get a shot on target. You have to admire when your two center forwards are dropping back in defense. The energy it takes, the inspiration it takes, the motivation, that's the word I'm looking for, it takes to defend by center forwards is excellent.
And another chance, as this time it's Coy Kraft looking to make something happen off the dribble. Fernandez. We're getting into the final minute of this first half. A first half that saw Real Monarchs take the lead off of Devin Sandoval. Tremendous bit of work by him to really be able to body off a defender as big as Cody Andrews. Be able to get a shot off a defender like Cody Andrews. Energy would storm back. Here's Bonner looking to attack one more before they go to the dressing room. Bonner shielding, looking, dropping to the side. Again, Energy just trying to hold the ball to find the best possible option. The cross into the middle over everyone. The idea was there. The execution on the cross just was not precise.
Yeah, you got to keep that cross down. But like you mentioned, the idea is there. If that's the opportunity that presents itself, you got to take it. And well done by Bonner just to win that possession, carry the ball deep into his attacking third, and make the Monarchs defense suffer a little bit. But this first half has gone by with 3 goals. OKC already matched their season high in terms of goals, and we are not even done with the first half. So you have to like how they've been able to, first of all, respond after going down a goal and just keep that confidence, keep that ball movement going. If they can do that in the second half, they can get another one, or 2 more goals and really put this game away.
Monarchs, in the meantime, have also shown some good things, although not as frequently. They've sporadically been able to show some promising intentions, but not so far as many as you mentioned before, as much as Energy have so far in this first half. I'm just looking at maybe 1 minute tops. Right now we haven't received any indication from referee Greg Dobka. Keeping it in play and moving it around very well. Energy right now, especially in the middle of the pitch. And we're going into the first minute of stoppage time coming to a close. The first of 3 minutes that was just confirmed. Sandoval, he gets the ball from Aquino, who drops it back to Aquino. Even further back over to Danilo Acosta. Olnes. Again, moving it around. The chance there for Olmes Garcia. There's no fruit. It just does start a counterattack here for Energy, who have been very dangerous, setting through. Say no, it didn't look offside, as it's Bonner who stayed with his defender. Again, far to the far side, the header, the chance! Oh, unbelievable how that ball does not go in. But again, it gets deflected at the very last minute. Thomas definitely looking for it. And for him, the third time, no, that wasn't a charm. But it'll still be a corner kick for Energy FC.
Yes, that's a well done. Thomas was unmarked, so that's a great decision to go into the area. I thought at first he might drop it back to, I believe it was Dahlgaard at the top of the area. But to go into Thomas there, who was unmarked, was a wise decision as well. Leads to a corner. Let's see if they can take advantage once again of all those big bodies and movement to get another goal here on a set piece.
But one thing we've been noticing, I'll mention it right after this corner kick here, is it comes through right into the hands of Lalo Fernandez. A ball somehow, some way. Oh no, it's a charge. As the referee calls it there. Maybe it's that late, but it doesn't matter. It still gets called nonetheless. As Fernandez lost the ball. But going back to what I was going to say originally, one little wrinkle that we're starting to see is the numbers that Energy are bringing in, and bringing it in, especially with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, that's important, yeah. Because Buskov has been able to play back. Buskov has been a very defensive player in this game, in that midfield in front of Cody Andrews and Hedrick, so that Harris and Ryden can push up. So Buskov is dropping back defensively. That takes some of the responsibility defensively away from Michael Thomas, so he has that freedom to push forward.
Deep ball, good service, promising as Velasco gets to it. He's marked there by Harris. as the 3 minutes are up. Again, McGovern back into the middle it goes. It's Elder Torres going to Velasco, serving it into the middle. Ball bouncing around, but not much going on as Energy being able to clear that out. Again, one more chance. Okwonu looking to serve it through. Swinging it out wide again. Velasco keeping it alive. And it'll be Cody Lorendi pouncing on it and waiting to see if 4 more seconds are taken off the clock. And that'll be it, as referee Greg Dubka says that's it. That's the end of the first half. Your score after 45 minutes, it's Energy FC 2 and Real Monarchs 1. A first half that offered quite a bit as far as play was concerned. A great deal of dynamic, a great deal of opportunities for both teams, but it was Energy that cashed in and had more and was able to play a little bit better than Real Monarchs. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more here on Energy FC TV.
Hola amigos, soy Osvaldo Alaniz de Chivas. Los invito en Oklahoma el 28 de junio a ver el partido contra el Energy FC.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us.
Everyone, it's time to cross Go to Bank off your errand list for good. Did you know you can monitor account balances, transfer money, deposit checks, pay bills, and more any time of day from anywhere in the world? It's possible with mobile banking from First Fidelity Bank. It's another way FFB gives you personal local bank service with big bank products. Visit ffb.com/mobile and learn more today.
Every day I wonder if we're getting it right. Parenting, planning for tomorrow, all of it. As my mother says, the days are long, but the years are short. I want to protect what we have and give them what they need. But we're going to need some help.
Reaching your family's financial goals could be easier than you think. At MassMutual, we've helped families for more than 160 years. Let us help yours.
Hey Energy fans, have you heard the news? Oklahoma City going head-to-head with one of the most famous soccer franchises on planet Earth. It's OKC. It's CD Guadalajara, yes, Chivas, head-to-head June 28th right here at Taft Stadium. Think about this. It'd be like the New York Yankees, Boston Celtics, Dallas Cowboys coming to play your guys in green. It's huge. It might be the biggest international soccer event in Oklahoma history. Chivas, one of the most popular brands in the soccer world. For those who aren't completely familiar, CD Guadalajara plays in Liga MX. They have 11 First Division titles to their credit. 7 Campeón de Campeones, 1 Interliga, 1 Copa Challenger, 4 Copa Oros de Occidente, and 3 Copa Mexico. Chivas, one of the 10 founding members of the Mexican First Division. One of only 2 teams never to be relegated to the second tier. CD Guadalajara has 2 Clásico games, El Super Clásico versus Club America, and El Clásico Tapatio against Atlas. Tasty. CD Guadalajara, the only football club in Mexico to exclusively field Mexican players. They love their homegrown. According to a recent survey from Spain, Guadalajara is the most popular team in Mexico. The 42% of their supporters in the country. The club has been recognized by FIFA, the AFP, and the Associated Press as the second most popular team in the world, with over 40 million supporters, most in the U.S. and Mexico, behind only Flamengo of Brazil. Successful players that have been on a Chivas roster: Javier Hernandez, Carlos Vela, Marcos Fabian, Francisco Rodriguez, Omar Bravo, and Carlos Salcido. If you want tickets to soccer history, you can give us a call, 235-KICK. Also, energyfc.com. Also, keep up to speed with all the pregame stuff at Energy FC TV. I'm Brent Skarkey. We'll see you at the big game on June 28th.
And that will be a tremendous match as Chivas and Energy FC facing each other at Taft Stadium. Historic match, to say the least, George. But going back to the match, it was very interesting to see Energy come through. Yeah, there was a bit of a lapse there in the goal by Devin Sandoval, but they came back and showed some character taking the lead.
Yeah, it was important for them to come back. And what I like about the goal by Koenig, and we were talking about this before, it was the physicality to get that space. And then it also came 5 minutes after Sandoval. You don't want to give your opposition team a chance to build the defense and hold on to a lead.
Wait, George, wait.
Hold on, let me finish my point real quick.
Hold on. I don't want you to spoil it.
No, I'm not.
I don't want you
to
to spoil that
my point
point
real quick. Well, I was just going to say, you don't want them to get confidence going forward. That's all.
I just didn't want you to spoil the goal.
I wasn't talking about the goal. I was talking about the confidence of the team.
And that confidence, they did show a great deal of opportunities such as that one that were driven out. I just didn't want you to spoil the goal.
Well, you got to
that
let me
saw
say
there.
it first,
yeah.
then.
Okay.
You know, there we go.
There we go. As the ball comes through, we do see Energy having some problems here. The lapse and the goal by Devin Sandoval.
Yeah. Well, it's just unfortunate. It really is. Especially Cody Larendi gets a hand on it, but just couldn't keep it out.
Now, don't spoil this one.
I didn't say nothing.
Just let's enjoy it.
The people saw it. No, go ahead.
And just sweet. Just really sweet right there.
Yes.
As again,
Beautiful.
Danny Koenig, his third of the season. But again, a lot of things got together there and really created some important stuff, just like it did here for Cody Andrews, his first of the season. Set piece, always dangerous for Energy.
What I was trying to say is that they responded quickly. That is the key. When you go down a goal at home to opposition, you want to respond quickly so that you don't give the opposition confidence, and they did that.
I just didn't want you to spoil the goal.
Nah, man. I was going to wait until
As you see right there, ladies and gentlemen, the shots on goal right there, very key for Energy, getting some good opportunities.
But look at that, double-digit shots in the first half. That's amazing.
And that's something that we haven't seen up to the past couple of matches. Really start to see Energy really not just have quality, but also quantity that we've seen today. And that's very key as far as that's concerned. Corner kicks, of course, also in their favor. And, of course, off of one of those was the goal that took the lead for Energy FC. Let's see what Jimmy Nielsen has to say about this first half.
Words about the first half.
Coach, your fourth game in the last 10 days, but no sign of weariness for your players. They come out with a lot of chances, 2 goals in that first half. You got to feel good.
Yeah, they've done absolutely brilliant. You can see this is our 4th game in 10 days. I think the guys come out with a lot of energy. We created a lot of chances. You know, let's be honest, we should have been up 5 or 6-1 right now. We created so many chances, so we got to come out smart in second half now. And we know the wind is changing as well, so we got to play with the brain as well.
Yeah, wind is a factor. Cody Andrews' first goal as a member of the Energy, that's big.
That's a brilliant header, good service, and fantastic timing, so brilliant.
All right, go talk to the guys. Coach Nielsen, 2-1 at the half.
A very happy Jimmy Nielsen, obviously, after a great first half, but they're not the only ones having a great run of form so far, George. It's also Energy FC's PDL side that has really been making some noise. We're going to see what happens, and we're going to show you exactly what's been going on with them.
OKC soccer fans, Memorial Day is right around the corner, and your guys in green have the weekend off. But you still need your kicks fixed? How about taking in an Energy U23 match? Coach Chris Spinlove is at the helm as this PDL side gears up for its summer season.
Yeah, I mean, ever since we started building the squad in August or September, we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of players wanting to come here. It's been an attractive place to play, and it's been good. We're very happy with what we've got in. We've got probably 28, 30 guys on the roster right now, so we're just tweaking with it.
PDL stands for Premier Development League, and the squad's made up of up-and-coming hungry players trying to make a pro career of it, and college players looking to stay in shape and open eyes for future opportunities.
they actually have a league, play games, have a playoff system, have a championship. So it's a great way for guys that are in the sort of around the country to stay fit in the off season and compete.
Hella Sidibe went through spring training with the Energy First Team. He's played on PDL teams in the past. He knows this could be a great way to officially make Jimmy's roster.
Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, this is the most organized I've been to in terms of training, everything. I've been on some good teams in the past. This one is one of the top, for sure.
Noah Keats is in college at Incarnate Word in San Antonio. The Exeter, England native is spending the summer north of the Red River.
It's a good level to get coverage and be seen, and then progress on with your football career or soccer career over it. And yeah, looking to do that.
Your first great chance to see what might be the future of the Oklahoma City Energy, their home opener, May 29th in Norman. The match set for Norman High, 7 o'clock Sunday night against Albuquerque. What should fans expect?
One thing I'll promise for sure is hard work. No matter what, no matter who we're facing, at the end of the day, you're going to see all of us working for each other, busting our butt off to help each other out. That's one thing that our head coach emphasized every single day. No matter what happens, we got to stay tight together. And it's looking great because we're working even harder than we thought we could have done.
So to keep the ball rolling and see a true sign that soccer is growing and putting down roots in OKC, check out the Energy U23. I'm Brent Skarkey for Energy FC TV.
And great work again by Brent Skarkey on that report. Is Energy FC with a 2-1 advantage at halftime. Again, I'm Juan Arango alongside George DeMattelis as we see what goes on here. But we're going to see what happens later on. Second half, close to starting. We'll be back with more after this.
Soy Osvaldo Alanis de Chivas. Los invito en Oklahoma el 28 de junio a ver el partido contra el Energy FC.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us.
Everyone, it's time to cross Go to Bank off your errand list for good. Did you know you can monitor account balances, transfer money, deposit checks, pay bills, and more any time of day from anywhere in the world? It's possible with mobile banking from First Fidelity Bank. It's another way FFB gives you personal local bank service with big bank products. Visit ffb.com/mobile and learn more today.
I don't think any city in America has come as far, as fast as Oklahoma City. And the reason you see so many highly educated 20-somethings move into the city is that vibe, is that energy.
And we want to be a part of that. We believe our MBA program is just as vital, it's just as interesting, it's just as engaging as other parts of people's lives. We can provide students with this incredible opportunity to learn in the places where they're living, working, and playing.
Soy Osvaldo Alanis de Chivas. Los invito en Oklahoma el 28 de junio a ver el partido contra el Energy FC.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions
And again, Chivas Energy on June 28th. Again, ladies and gentlemen, glad to have you on board. I'm Juan Rango alongside George D. Metellus. George, it's been a first half, and you were talking off camera that you did see a good attitude, but also good dynamic collectively for Energy.
Yeah, I mean, for the second half, they just have to basically keep doing what they've been doing. The goal was, I guess you could say it was a fluke. So that's, what's done is done. But they responded with 2 goals very quickly. Within 15 minutes of losing the lead, they came back with 2 goals. So if they just do what they did in the first half, carry that into the second half, they can get a couple more goals and really finish off the Monarchs for a victory.
Now, if we switch it over to the Monarchs, what do they have to do? I mean, what do you see them that they did or didn't do in the first half that they need to kind of reassess themselves?
Well, what they have to do is get Velasco more involved, the number 10. He's the captain, and we spoke about it during the first half. He had a very good game against Orange County. He's been on fire for Freddie Juarez's side. So they have to find a way to get him more involved. They have to be a little more composed on the ball. Very rarely, I think maybe once, that we see them string together more than 4 passes. So they have to take the momentum away from OKC by holding the ball more often, get more possession, building forward. And then Sandoval has been going at it with Hedrick. And when you consider how many times, unfortunately, Hedrick has been on the ground, maybe that's a battle that they can exploit for the second half. So I think Real Monarchs have to just continue, have to get more of the possession, play more poised, and that might help them try to break down a very good Energy defense. But Energy, they just have to do what they did in the first half.
It's not only Jimmy Nielsen smiling, also his assistant James Ritchie there. You see him on the right of your screen. As, of course, everyone on the Energy bench definitely very pleased right now. We'll see if that transfers over and translates to more success in the second 45 minutes. But again, you do have a team in Real Monarchs that have been able to come back. They have been able to score goals, but also concede them at the same time. And this is going to be a crucial 45 minutes for both sides to really start finding themselves. And for Energy, too, if you start looking not just in the form of play, but also in the table, that would put them really close to a playoff position, closer than they were just at the beginning of this match, as things already underway here at Taft Stadium.
They would leapfrog Monarchs in the table with the victory because they came in 2 points back. So this is a huge second half, and another goal would really make things more comfortable for OKC.
Morelos is a proud sponsor of Energy FC. Get shopping done and buy your Energy FC tickets at all 3 Metro Supermercados Morelos locations. Locations are Northwest 23rd and Meridian, Northwest 50th and Meridian, and off of Northwest 5th and I-35 in Moore. Again, you start to see Monarchs having a little bit of trouble. It's still pushing forward. No changes up to now in this second half, as the pass, maybe a little bit too much pace. Well, yeah, definitely a little bit too much pace there by Holmes Garcia, the former Deportes Quindío man over in Colombia. So he's one of those that can really make a difference. And you were talking about Velasco, but also Garcia. You didn't see a whole lot from Garcia. He did have the ball, but really didn't become a major factor.
Yeah, every time Garcia got the ball, he was surrounded by 2 or 3 players. The midfield was very congested, which is a good thing for the Energy defense. So as long as they keep him away from the penalty area and keep bodies in front of him, they will neutralize him.
Again, Sandoval doing very good with the ball as a pivot man, if you will, but also doing a very good job with it, going to goal as the lone goal so far for Real Monarchs in this match. Also, I have to send a quick shout out there to Trey Fitzgerald over at Real Salt Lake, and also at Real Monarchs, doing a great job of helping us out past couple of days. Shout out to him and everybody over in Sandy. So shout out to everyone over in that organization. And we're already 2 minutes underway. Both teams still looking, but it's been the visitors that have tried to be a little bit more poised. Like you did mention at the beginning, here's Boyd Okwonu. The ball just way over and misdirected as Sandoval asking questions. Hey, guys.
It's a foul, yeah. I think he was whistled for a foul, and so that's what he was complaining about.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on?
OKC, you suspect first couple minutes they're just trying to kind of get back warmed up. But as this match progresses, like I said, at halftime, they just have to do what they did in the first half. Keep the ball around, string together passes, 7, 8 passes. When there's space to switch it to the other side, make that pass happen. Do it quickly, do it precisely, and they will open things up. Remember, Michael Thomas had a couple of headers. For someone who's not necessarily the tallest player on the team, he's had a couple of headers and a couple of opportunities in which he has found himself in space to get on the end of some crosses and service. So if they can continue to do that, you figure one of those is going to go in, and that'll be huge.
Already had 3 opportunities, although that last one was deflected just at the last second. But still, it's been a bit of a wrinkle that you've seen that's been quite different from Energy, seeing Thomas going more on the attack. We were more accustomed to seeing him more as a player that's dropped back a little bit more, that's further back from the action but still able to spray the ball around a little bit. And obviously before that, he was at right back, so shows you his diversity and his polyfunctionality as he starts to break. And now it's, again, Energy with Koi Kraft spinning, moving, going around, gets past one defender, able to shed one off. And again, you start to see the movement. Harris, ball just bouncing around, and again, goes right into the hands of Lalo Fernandez. Fernandez, of course, not familiar to the goalkeeping scene. Of course, his dad used to play in Liga MX. Actually, way before it was called Liga MX. He was playing back in the 80s as well as the mid to late 90s in goal. Played for Chivas, played for Monterrey, also played for Toros Neza. So a very accomplished goalkeeper, his father, Eduardo. Deep ball again, and another chance here for Real Monarchs. It's Olmes Garcia swinging it through as the rush was coming from Omar Jones, and he was not able to get to it. As Energy able to defuse that situation, but still not being able to get rid of the ball. Here's McGovern. Velasco. Back into the middle it goes. Escavita being able to take it out wide. Good job, but not enough real estate there to have that heel pass work there for Riley McGovern, and it'll be Energy FC's ball as we're already in the 50th minute of play. And as much as you want to criticize, or you kind of said, well, you know what, those throw-ins that Michael Harris does at times, today, boy, they've been spot on.
Yeah, I mean, the one that led to the goal was pretty good. It's just a matter of timing. You have to know when to use that flip throw-in. You can't just use it all the time. You have to be strategic about it, because after a while, the coaches, they see it on tape and they realize how it's being deployed, and then they find a way to defend it. So for Michael Harris, it's just about timing, when to use it properly, and it worked out in this situation that led to Danny Koenig's goal. But you can't go to the well too often. That's the problem right there.
Okwonu. Garcia. Back to Okwonu. We're seeing more movement from Monarchs.
Or more possession, for sure, yeah.
And more possession.
More possession, yeah. They're still waiting for someone to kind of make a hard run into space. But this is good for Monarchs. They get more possession, and that should open things up, or at least create more goal-scoring opportunities.
Well, Harris with the whiff there, and that leads a great opportunity. Velasco cuts inside, the chance, the shot that goes just wide. And again, you do not allow a player like Ricardo Velasco to have that much room.
Well, Harris makes a big mistake here. He gambles on the interception, if you will. And one thing him and Ryden have done very well in this match is that they've been able to keep defenders in front of them. They haven't gambled trying to go for the tackle, trying to go for the ball. And he made a mistake there, almost cost him a goal.
Again here, continuing the pressure, continuing the opportunities. It's Harris. Quick Kraft looking for the handball. That's going to get him. He's going to get it finally.
And very important, especially for wingbacks, it's very important that they just keep players in front of them. They try not to dispossess the attacker or try to make a overzealous interception of the ball there on that pass to Velasco. And for the most part, Harris and Ryden have been able to do it. And Harris, that one little mistake there could have meant an equalizer for Monarchs. Luckily for them, if the ball went wide, but they've got to be better defensively. Just keep the player in front of you and allow the rest of the team to drop back.
And a sloppy pass leads to this counter. Sandoval has 2 defenders on top of him. It's Cody Andrews now having to try and battle the big guy. And again, you do see a very complicated player to defend, and Energy still being able to get rid of that ball, being able to find a way to get that ball out of that area, but still it's been Sandoval complicating things big time for Energy FC's backline.
Yeah, Sandoval is confident after the goal, and Andrews and Hedrick are going to have to communicate better, but also it helps when your team is able to keep some possession as well. Right now, Monarchs holding on to most of the possession. Hopefully OKC can turn this one into a goal-scoring chance.
And that'll have to wait as the ball goes out of bounds, but the referee saying, no, it's going to be, it's going to be,
yeah, it's going to be Monarchs.
It's going to be Monarchs ball, yeah. And despite all the protests from Sebastian Dalgard.
He's saying that Gwonu touched the ball, but the referee disagrees.
He's saying, that's not the case. Gwonu launches it out, does get his leg up, and referee does not call it. Ryden. Very congested on that far side, but the referee calls a foul, so it'll be a set-piece opportunity for Energy FC as we reach the 55th minute of play. Energy FC's next home match is Saturday, June 25th at 7 p.m. at historic Taft Stadium. Take advantage of Energy FC's Family 4-Pack. Get 4 tickets and $20 in concession cash starting at $80. Call 235-KICK or visit energyfc.com/Ticket Central to learn more. Ball bouncing around. Bonner was looking to try and keep that alive and set another teammate up, but it goes eventually into the hands of Lalo Fernandez.
What we're seeing from the Monarchs defense, or the midfield, defensive mentality in the midfield, I should say, is that every time Energy FC get the ball, they are right on top of the marking, being a little more physical than they were in the first half. Energy had a lot more room to make connected passes in the first half. And this time, no, they are really being a little more physical, marking them tighter.
Marking them tighter and gambling on those passes, as Koenig almost got it through. Again, trying to look for Ricardo Velasco, man, right here on the near side. Velasco, of course, 22 years old, well, at least for a couple more hours. Will turn 23 on Thursday, man, from Casa Grande, Arizona. And the run was being made there in the middle, but not much going on as the ball goes out wide, as it goes over to Velasco. Moved to Rome, came close the last time, but now too far. Torres, back it goes to Omar Holness in his shot, but not much going on there as it goes misdirected. Energy, yeah, they'll definitely take that, yeah. But still you start to see a Real Monarch side that starts to really build up a little bit more. Maybe they're not getting inside the 18 consistently yet, but still you do see them pushing forward slowly but surely.
Right, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. They have had the majority of the possession in this second half, and that's disturbing for Energy FC, who only have a 1-goal lead. It's not like they're up 3 or 4-0. They're up just by 1 goal. And we saw how Sandoval scored his goal. One little mistake and you get an equalizer. Energy have to start possessing more of the ball themselves and really start to make Lalo Fernandez sweat back there. Or sweat more than he is already. I'm sure it's pretty humid. It's the summertime.
Oh, of course it's humid,
yeah. Make him think, make him nervous back there.
Lots of potential rain that was expected. So far that's been able to stay away from Taft Stadium. It's Harris launching it in near the top of the 6, still bouncing around. The opportunity here by Koenig as he turns around, cannot really make some good significant contact. Another bullet that is dodged there by Real Monarchs. Meanwhile, Energy dropped that ball back and recycle play, trying to send that ball deep. Maybe a little too deep as it goes out of bounds, and it will be a corner kick for Energy now.
Yeah.
But again, you do see both.
I thought that was a little ambitious trying to get it out wide to Harris, but it led to a corner, so it was a good outcome.
Yeah, good outcome there, and you see Benny Koenig having some choice words there for one of the assistants. Of course, that's Wade Beal on the near side and Brandon Query on the far side. Let's see what happens here. Last time, Energy were able to score off of the head of Cody Andrews. Let's see what happens here. Dalgard with the outswinger. Top of the 6, connects again, but this time misdirected and goes into the tent area.
That's a good sign, though. Anytime you can get your best goal scorer, true number 9, and some contact with the ball on a set piece, that's a positive thing. Now, obviously, went into the tent area, so it didn't lead to anything significant, but it's a good step in terms of knowing that Koenig can get on the end of a service when necessary. Now it's just a matter of him being accurate with the shot toward goal.
It's the first substitution, and Elder Torres, player that we saw, and maybe we're seeing the potential of him starting to really take control of the offense. That did not happen. Instead, Andrew Brody will get a chance. Brody, of course, graduate of Louisville, played some time over there. Of course, he's the first substitution of the match. It's his 9th game, the 9th match that he's played so far this season. He scored 1 goal, as Energy looking to break things open a little bit, but a very casual, careless pass. It goes to Velasco as he cuts around, trying to get around Harris, but drops it back over to McGovern. Riley McGovern. Another deep ball, and this time Cyprian Hedrick wins that battle that he's had so far with that man on the far side, and Devin Sandoval.
I suspect with this substitution, Olmes Garcia is going to drop into the midfield, try to be that number 10 playmaker, and then Brody will be with Sandoval and Velasco topping that 4-3-3.
That ball right there. But again, the battle right there. Both of them have been so intense. You see right there.
Shirt, yeah.
I mean,
that's a clear foul on Sandoval.
They can wait until the end of the match to really exchange jerseys, but well, that's another story.
I don't think they will be, though.
No.
The way they've been going at it, they might exchange something else, but it won't be jerseys. It might be like a couple of bad words or something like that, some trash talking. The way they've been battling, I mean, Hedrick got hit in the face by Sandoval. I don't know if he can forget that. But at least you like to see that. You like to see your best defender take on and get into it with the opposition's best attacker. And that's an attitude by OKC that's positive. You want to see them have that fight. You know, Hedrick has not backed down no matter how many times he's been hit in the face. He gets up and he continues to battle Sandoval, and that's just a good sign. You want the leader of your defense to show that he's tough, and Hedrick has shown that he's very tough.
62nd minute of play, and Energy still up 2-1, and deep launch there by Harris, and it did come in, but it went out.
Yeah.
As again, the wind, and Jimmy Nielsen was talking about it during halftime, saying we have to take advantage of the wind, and when you put that ball that high, and with the wind in your favor, really, it's a double-edged sword, if you will. And Piskov.
The having the wind is important, but the most important thing is holding on to possession. He just turned the ball over, and that was the bigger mistake there. Keep the ball.
Bonner with the cross into the middle for Koenig. Not too precise there. He just is able to get a piece of that ball. He's trying to steer it towards goal.
I wonder
what happened there.
I wonder if he leaves it. I think Dalgard was in the middle of the penalty area, at the heart of the penalty area. Let's say he used the dummy there. Oh no, it was Thomas. Yeah, Thomas making the run. Let's say he dummies that and leaves it for Thomas. Thomas has a better shot on goal. So I know Koenig is a goal scorer and he wants to get his touches in, and he usually makes very good decisions. But maybe if Thomas yells at him saying, hey, I'm behind you, so there's some kind of communication going on, maybe that allows Koenig to
deep
play
ball
the dummy.
again, as it's
Thomas is there.
Now Monarchs looking to counter quickly. throw-in coming up for the visitors. Again, they've been more consistent as Sandoval waiting, but again, it's Hedrick coming up big as him and Cody Andrews rotating a little bit, but you do see Harris stepping into the middle as well to try and cover spaces.
Yep.
Actually, it's going to be a corner kick.
Buskov and Harris have had to drop back defensively, but especially Buskov. He's been very good filling in those defensive holes.
And Swinger going low, trying to see if there's a deflection, but it doesn't work. The deflection is, of course, from an Energy player. Boy, Kraft. Biskov. Trying to knock it around. Thomas. Harris now. It's Coy Kraft now trying to set that ball up in the middle, and it'll be a foul being called in favor of Energy FC. Colin Bonner.
So FC Dallas Loney's combining very well down that right side. You have to like that.
Decided to take off that bandage.
Please, the official has issued a yellow caution card to
You
Real
see that
Monarchs
foul.
number 4.
Being able to use his body to come in, slip in
64th
between
minute.
the ball
Caution card to Real Monarchs
and
number
McGovern.
Riley McGovern in the 64th
Booked
minute.
for 2, yeah.
Riley McGovern is the first player with a yellow card. That comes at the 65th minute of play. So the first one of the match. You see Thomas setting up here for the set piece. Good distance here to really set things up to find Koenig, find Bonner. Tries to go top of the 18. He's still possessing, and will be a corner kick on the very far side of the pitch. And you see them really methodical, being so far, you know, maybe not the most dynamic, maybe not the quickest, but you know what? They find the spaces and they really look to take advantage.
Well, I mean, now they've settled down. We suspected that Monarchs would come out very energetic in the first 10-15 minutes, try to get a quick goal in the beginning part of the second half in order to try to come back. But now the second half has settled, and you're seeing the energy now get more possession, be more aggressive going forward. And hopefully we have an injury here, but hopefully we'll see if the energy can just continue that. And if they continue to do that, you figure another goal will come.
Wonu just had his bell rung there by the ball. And it'll be Gonzalez coming on. Daniel Gonzalez. Usually that means it'll either be Biskov, or they say it's Coy Kraft, which has also been a player that at times you've seen him.
Well, if it's Kraft.
Yeah, it is going to be Kraft.
Yeah.
I mean, you do see him. He's played quite a few minutes. He's made quite a bit of runs. And in certain instances, you see him kind of fade away a little bit. Hadn't been the case today, but you do want to start thinking about giving your players a little bit of rotation, or is that a little bit?
No, it makes perfect sense. What you're saying makes perfect sense, and it's true. And I think that this substitution, what it does when you bring in Gonzalez, Martinez, what it does. No, I'm right, Daniel Gonzalez. I'm sorry, Daniel Gonzalez. What it does now, he's going to play more central. So that means more holding of the ball, more possession.
And the ball coming through, cleared out. And Energy not being able to take advantage of that, and it'll be a throw-in for Real Monarchs. And you see how it's set up now. You do see Gonzalez coming in. Does that allow Michael Thomas to free up a little bit more? You do have two players whose responsibilities are more of a defensive holding midfielder, and then bring in Thomas and allow Bonner and Dalgard to.
I don't know if it frees him up more, because we've seen him, especially in the first half, make more runs into the area, run into space. What will free him up more is if we get more possession. That's the key. He has been dropping back defensively because Monarchs have been able to hold the ball, so he's been filling in his role. But when Energy have been able to get the ball and get possession, he's had the freedom to move forward. So I don't expect that it'll change too much. I think what will happen now with Gonzalez, you'll have someone in the middle who can control the ball a little more, who's not going to burst forward like Coy Kraft, but who can hold on to possession, maybe pick out a pass a little bit better.
Picking out a pass right there was Thomas, but couldn't finally make that connection. Here's Biskov. Again, moving it around is Dalgard to Ryden and continue to move it all the way back as it's Cody Andrews. Back to Thomas. On the near side is Harris, but decides to go deep, maybe too deep and too far and too wide and completely out of bounds.
Well, that's tough right there because Harris, he was looking for someone to pass it to. You could see him holding the ball up, waiting for someone. He had Bonner in front of him, and I believe he also had Gonzalez as well, but they were being marked, so he tried to play it long for Ryden, who was making the run down that far side, and the pass was just a little too long. But Ryden did have some space out there, so that could open up in the future.
As Sandoval goes down, takes a pretty good hit there, and play continues. And now it's all in favor of Real Monarchs. We reach the 69th minute of play. OKC Energy welcomes 11-time Liga MX champions Chivas Guadalajara in a historic event over at Taft Stadium on June 28th. Don't miss the world's best take on the pitch in OKC. Tickets are available at all OKC metro area Morelos supermercados at both Energy FC team store locations and by calling 235-KICK or visiting energyfc.com/Chivas.
Looking forward to that game. That should be a great game. Looking forward to seeing Chivas come to Taft Stadium. It really is one of the big names in all of world football, Chivas, and their indigenismo policy of only Mexicans has really endeared them to the people of Mexico. It is going to be a special atmosphere at Taft Stadium for one of the great clubs in world football. Looking forward to that match.
As Tyler Arnone comes in. Again, here's a chance for Koenig. Able to body a man off, and a great save there by Lalo Fernandez, able to swipe that ball away. And Danny Koenig was right there looking for the brace, and you see both jawing at each other as Koenig and the youngster Fernandez, not too pleased, was the goal scorer for Energy FC, and a good chance coming up for Energy after the chance that they had before. Koenig looking to see what he can do, and now trying to get some revenge. Again, look at the way he's able to body McGovern away from the ball.
And he tries to get it near post too, which is well done by Fernandez because he anticipated near post because the defender was on that outside shoulder.
And the ball gets cleared out. Here's Energy now with Dalgard. Runs past Olmes Garcia. The ball coming through! And again, cleared out at the last second. Now you start to see Energy tighten the screws a little bit. Here's Michael Harris. Dalgard recovering the ball, crossing it one more time, looking for Koenig. Bonner in the area, but not being able to do it. Here's, again, Energy just trying to recycle play, just trying to reorganize themselves as 8-9 players near the area. The ball just popped up in the air right into the hands of Lalo Fernandez, and looking to counter is Real Monarchs.
That's good stuff there by Energy FC, putting on the pressure, almost getting a third goal. Unfortunately, it didn't go over the line into the back of the net, but it was excellent pressure and good movement there by OKC.
And again, another chance and another opportunity near for Sandoval, but not much going on for him. As time goes by, you see him more isolated. You see him getting further away from his teammates, and his teammates, in turn, getting further away from him. So you see him pretty much battling on his own against two very tough central defenders.
Yeah, the substitution of Brody has not really helped in terms of getting him any service. And because OKC now are starting to play more with the ball, they're starting to have more possession, Monarchs are having to drop back defensively and cover those spaces, and that leaves Sandoval by himself. So that's a good sign for Energy FC. If they can continue to possess the ball, keep that ball in their attacking third, not only will they increase their chances of getting a goal, but they increase the chances or decrease the chances of Sandoval getting touches toward the goal of Lorendi.
Again, that ball popped up and '73rd minute as Lalo Fernandez, hoping and wishing that one of his teammates could at least move around a little bit. He just sends it out. And those 50-50 balls, Sandoval's been involved in quite a few of them, but hasn't been able to win all of them. That's been the major key for Energy, or one of the keys for Energy so far in this match, as it's, again, Fenwell Cavita. McGovern, as he has the ball taken away. Good closing down effort there by Michael Biscoff as time continues to tick in favor of Energy.
Yeah, Biscoff has done excellent so far defensively. He really has been a rock in front of that back line, cleaning up any little mistakes, making sure to dispossess at any opportunity that he can. He's done very well in that holding midfield role.
Dalgard running, and also in the middle, Thomas cutting off, but it'll be Energy's ball as it does go off a player there for Real Monarchs. So you start to see time really tick away for the visitors. And again, Real Monarchs really haven't seen too much of them offensively, especially in the last 15, 20 minutes.
That's the key, the last 15 minutes, yeah. The first 10, 15 minutes of the half, they came out strong.
Dalgard out
OKC
wide.
has been good.
It's Thomas and Koenig and Bonner. Here's another ball coming through. Bonner got stuck. He had to try and send it back out. But again, Real Monarchs looking to break out, taking quite a bit of time to do so as it goes off of Omar Holness. Now, quickly looking to do so is McGovern, trying to advance it slowly but surely. Again, it goes back to Holness. Acosta also trying to push forward. It goes around him, and it goes out wide now over to the recently entered Tyler Arnone. Arnone now making a run into space, but not being able to get to that ball. And it'll be shepherded out of bounds there by Energy FC. It'll be a goal kick for the home side as we are in the 75th minute of play. Morelos is a proud sponsor of Energy FC. Get shopping done and buy your Energy FC tickets at all 3 Supermercado Morelos locations. Locations are Northwest 23rd and Meridian, Northwest 50th and Meridian, and off of Northwest 5th and I-35 in Moore. Final 15 minutes of this match. As Energy went down initially, it was a goal in the 22nd minute by Devon Sandoval that gave Real Monarchs the lead, his first of the season. Then Danny Koenig just 6 minutes later with a bombazo, a tremendous shot there, as you see Kyle Hyland getting ready to come on. He'll be replacing Sebastian Dalgard. So that'll be the second substitution for Jimmy Nielsen. So it'll be Hyland for Dalgard. So you start to see.
Well, that's a defensive substitution.
Yeah, you do have a player that is more defensively inclined, but does tend to be able to offer some offensive spurts here and there.
Yeah, he could push forward down that left side. Yeah, he's a wing defender. So I suspect that he's going to be more defensive minded, but I think the 4-4-2 is still going to be in play for Jimmy Nielsen.
Again, you do bring a Highland type to really, as you mentioned, a defender, but a defender to play up high to really prevent Real Monarchs to really start moving that ball very cleanly down the wings, to really neutralize and stop, kind of a stop plug there over on the wings.
Right, exactly. He has that responsibility, but also because he's out wide with some pace, if the opportunity happens where they can break out on a counterattack, he can push forward as well. But his main responsibility is, like you said, be out wide and make sure that they cannot build up any attack or they run into a wall when they do try to go out wide and build something forward.
Again, here come Energy down the right side. It's, again, trying to find something here to make happen as Daniel Gonzalez trying to fill that role that was left by Coy Kraft.
It's interesting. The two substitutions made by Jimmy Nielsen have been the wing players. They put in a lot of running, Dalgard and Kraft, and now Gonzalez earlier in the match, about 10 minutes earlier, and then Highland now in the 77th minute. So the wingers getting a break there.
Another deep ball. It'll be just allowed to roll out there.
Yeah, smart move by Hedrick. He wastes some time, and they gain possession. So it prevents the other, this time Velasco, from getting onto it. So that's what one of the best defenders in USL does. Smart plays like that.
Another player that came in just recently as well was Alex Sundley. He replaced Danilo Acosta. So third substitution of the match for Real Monarchs. And you see that ball, we're talking about the wind just a little while ago. And that's exactly what that whipping ball is. It comes out a little bit too late, does Cody Lorendi, but still able to get to it. And on those goal kicks, you see Lorendi usually in the first half really be able to take them for a good ride. Then it gets caught in the wind in the second half. Is Energy trying to see how they can do to neutralize this opportunity and try and make something happen. Here's the ball going deep to Koenig. Able to recover it. Koenig waiting, looking to see where he can find the split in the defense.
Oh.
Koenig keeping it alive. The chance that goes through.
How did he get between those two?
And somehow that does happen. He's able to get that ball, but the pass, that final touch, not there. Again, look at what he does. He does find the space.
Well, he got a little bit lucky on the touch there, but that's what you get for being aggressive. You get that. You get those type of plays when you're aggressive.
Bonner again trying to move that ball around. Energy still top of the 18, but surviving, scratching and biting their way out right now around Monarchs, looking for the break. Here's Olmes Garcia looking to keep that ball and possessing it and trying to find a teammate to serve it to. Dribbling around, wants to control it, sends it over to Omar Holness. Holness to Holness, had to throw that one in, and now the ball back into the middle as it's the recently entered Alex Sundley.
What did you just say? Wholeness to wholeness? Is that what you said? Wholeness to wholeness. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm sorry. I was a little off. Wholeness to wholeness. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You just ruined it, man.
I ruined it. I know. My bad. I didn't expect you to
Anyway,
be
so
rhyming.
moving on is the throw-in for Real Monarchs here, as again trying to make sure that they can get a chance to equalize, and that has been few and far between the chances that they've had. As again, Energy really plugging them, and as you mentioned, George, as a substitution coming on. See what happens here is it'll be the Canadian Emery Welshman coming in, and off will be Olmes Garcia, the native of Barranquilla. So Emery Welshman coming on. Emery Welshman looking to offer a little bit more spark, a bit of a change of pace. We'll see how that plays out for Freddy Juarez. And another deep ball and not much going on there. And Energy starting to feel a little bit more confident, but they can't feel too confident right now, as they have to start really try to find a way. They need to start looking for that option to try and kill off the match. Is Harris, another moon ball right there. And ball stepped in. Good job there by Omar Holness. McGovern.
Oh, nice.
Putting that ball into the air. Is Sandoval waiting near the top of the 6. But again, the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick. So just trying to take the ball away just for a couple of seconds. Waste a couple of seconds there. Does Cyprian Hedrick.
Yeah, this is dangerous for Energy.
Yeah, those wigs are dangerous for your eyes, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But anyway, so it's an in-swinger coming up is Sandoval looking to block Cody Lorendi's vision. Going second post, top of the 6. That ball's deflected. Sandoval trying to go for another bicycle kick. Still lots of trouble trying to get that ball clear, trying to put that ball on target. Harris just decides to knock it out of bounds, and it'll be still Real Monarchs ball, 81-55.
Well, we've seen a couple of times where the ball has gotten into the area and some sloppy defending by Energy, and Monarchs haven't been able to put it into the back of the net.
McGovern still into the area, complicating a great deal our Real Monarchs as far as trying to prevent Energy to really come out cleanly on the break. They've been able to harm them on several occasions, especially in the first half. You saw very effective Energy on the counterattack. Here, not so much, as the corner kick coming up one more time for Real Monarchs. Already 83 minutes and still 2-1. As again, it's starting to get close to that time again. Energy looking to try and seal the deal, to try and kill this match off. Knocking it away far and deep and wide, out of bounds. And the ball boys go and chase the ball. And, well, there's the ball right there. Coming in quickly is another substitution coming on. This time it'll be, of course, the loanee from Indy 11, Wojciech coming on, and he will be replacing Colin Bonner.
Yeah, straight position swap there for Wojciech coming in. Big body, too. This might be more so for Wojciech is a forward, but also a tall body as well. So this might be also a move for set-piece defending as well. Another big body to get a fresher big body in there to defend.
Big boy for bigger boy.
Yeah.
You saw right there. And Bonner, a pretty big guy, and then you see Wojciech come in, and you're like, oh, my goodness. Another chance here is it'll be Tyler Arnone coming on. Again, looking to go through. Lorendi has to tip that ball over. But again, Energy looking composed but have to get out. They haven't been able to find a way to be able to prevent this particular onslaught by Real Monarchs, the most important one of the match so far.
They're having fun.
Or they're trying to just repel mosquitoes. I don't know what they're doing there, but nonetheless.
That's that new dance.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The repel the mosquito dance.
Yeah, I think your niece taught me that one, yeah. We'll see.
Hey, why you got to bring the nieces into it, huh? What's up with that?
Velasco. Top of the 6 gets cleared out. Energy trying to push out. Can't do it. Again, good anticipation. Here's a counterattack that's starting to brew. Energy looking to go full speed ahead. Here, 2 on 4 as Gonzalez not able to control it, but it does go to Highland. Still bouncing it, pinging it all over the place, but Energy controlling it. Highland hits the deck, and now Energy just trying to hold off as much as possible and trying to compress the situation to say, you know what, let's just calm it down a little bit. Looked like, well, Wojciech was coming off an offside, but does not get called. And again, the pressing, the pressure going to the opposite side.
Yeah, good job,
Harris.
Calm it down, composure.
Koenig says, you know what, I don't have the ability to run into the area. Might as well just drop it back. And
he has the ability. He just didn't have the support.
Yeah, at that point, he did not. Yeah, you're right.
That's the question.
Here's Koenig. Splitting it through. A bit too light on the touch, but it goes right back to Koenig, who splits through. Here's Koenig, full speed ahead, looking to go inside, but doesn't have a partner to team up with there. Good anticipation. Now a counterattack on the opposite side. 86 minutes to play. Here's Real Monarchs with Sandoval looking to stay onside. Does stay onside.
Yep. Defenders got to keep playing, man. Play to the whistle.
And that did not happen. As
4 guys with their hands in the air. Forget that. Play. You got to defend that man. Make sure he doesn't score. But Denny Koenig, the tight wire act he did on the line was incredible.
We've already seen it by luck and by skill.
Yeah.
We've seen it. And he's been very fortunate on both. Unfortunately for him, the end product did not benefit him. But that's another story for another time. Here's Velasco. 86-17. The ball coming through. And Energy able to clear that ball out. Kalen Ryden. Skied up in the air. Energy looking to just stave off another team that they are ahead in the latter stages of a match. Trying to put that ball through, and an infraction will be called in favor of Real Monarchs. Energy FC's next home match is Saturday, June 25th at 7 p.m. at historic Taft Stadium. Take advantage of Energy FC's Family 4-Pack. Get 4 tickets and $20 in concession cash starting at $80. Call 235-KICK or visit energyfc.com/Ticket Central to learn more.
But going back real quickly to the Danny Koenig situation where he had those 2 tight ropes on the end line, he got great service. The ball went through the 6. It was just that he didn't have enough support, and there weren't teammates there just to knock it in. One teammate makes a run hard toward the end line. They just tap it in, and you get a couple more goals. So Danny Koenig is doing his job. His teammates just have to push up further in support.
And the ball going through top of the 6. I mean, really push back to the limit our energy right now as we're in the final 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time. As you see right there, as it's David Lara. That's the assistant for Freddy Juarez. He cannot believe what's going on right now. He
wants fouls
he
because
wants
of
fouls,
all the
course.
physical nature and all the jostling going on in the penalty area.
One of the both assistants coming here. Let's see what happens. As Kalen Ryden being spoken to. Velasco already speaking. Bit of a tussle here.
Well, let's see. It looks like someone on the bench had something to say, and I think maybe the referee's going to send them off. I don't know. We don't know. We have to figure it out just like everyone else.
You even have match officials coming here. Let's see what goes on. As well, no, it looks like we're gonna have a stoppage of play because of lightning.
Lightning. Okay, I was gonna say I wonder if it had something to do with weather. We saw the wind kicking up, and wonder if it had something to do with the weather or anything like that. Because I didn't see anything on the bench in terms of
lightning just struck, and that's why referee Greg Dobka decided to stop play. And we were talking about it. Yeah, there was a chance for lightning and really inclement weather nearby, and they were just hoping to try and get those final 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, less than 2 minutes left here in historic Taft Stadium, plus stoppage time, of course. As you see fans heading for the gates, trying to see what happens here.
We have to see what's going on, but
as the players going off, everyone's going off. We're trying to find exactly what is going on. You see right there. Woo!
I'm sure the Monarchs players don't want this game to be called because enough time has elapsed where it could be officially given to Energy FC, obviously because they lead in the score. So we have to see what happens if they'll play the final few minutes.
Yeah, so now it'll be a delay. Obviously, I mean, people are going to be saying, well, you know what? Oh, my God, a minute and a half. It could be called depending on how things go. But right now, it will be just, you see right there, as the
yeah, that's way too close.
You saw
can't take any chances with that.
Yeah, you saw that bit of lightning was not very.
It was scary. It was scary. Yeah, and then you see the metal bleachers are right there. That's really a hazard. So it's the smart move. You know, with a minute and a half left, you figure maybe they could squeeze it in, but you never want to take any chances.
It's not.
Like
you're right. It's
you
not
never
even
want
worth
to take
it.
any chances.
Not even worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
So we'll wait and see what happens in these last 90 seconds plus whatever stoppage time is added by the referee. A second half, maybe not as fluid as that first half, George.
Yeah.
But overall, we're seeing that Energy have been pushed back pretty much to the brink in certain instances and really defending inside their 18. And that, of course, is a very dangerous proposition to try and live by, especially in the latter stages of a match.
Yeah, it is. We wanted the Energy to come out and play the way they did in the first half. We wanted them to come out in the second half to play the way they did in the first half. But credit to Monarchs. They were more aggressive. They put more energy into the attack. They were a little more physical in the midfield. They didn't give players like Kraft and Dahlgaard more room to operate. They closed down the spaces so that Thomas could not make penetrating runs into the area, and that slowed down the Energy attack and really limited the number of opportunities they had going forward in terms of goals. And so you have to give Monarchs credit for that. They put the pressure on the Energy defense over the last 5 minutes before the Lightning delay. They didn't get a goal, but that's usually how it goes. First half is going to get played one way. Very rarely does it come out the same way in the second half. So you have to give Monarchs credit, but OKC managed to fight them off.
Yeah, and it's important to start noticing what you were saying about how the two halves have been very different as far as the dynamic was concerned. So we'll see what goes on in those next few minutes. But we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll have more. We'll keep you informed as to the status of the match and what goes on from here on out.
Soy el Dataranís de Chivas, los invito en Oklahoma el 28 de junio a ver el partido contra el Energy FC.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us.
Everyone, it's time to cross Go to Bank off your errand list for good. Did you know you can monitor account balances, transfer money, deposit checks, pay bills, and more any time of day from anywhere in the world? It's possible with mobile banking from First Fidelity Bank. It's another way FFB gives you personal local bank service with big bank products. Visit ffb.com/mobile and learn more today.
I don't think any city in America has come as far, as fast as Oklahoma City. And the reason you see so many highly educated 20-somethings move into the city is that vibe, is that energy.
And we want to be a part of that. We believe our MBA program is just as vital, it's just as interesting, it's just as engaging as other parts of people's lives. We can provide students with this incredible opportunity to learn in the places where they're living, working, and playing.
De Chivas, los invito en Oklahoma el 28 de junio a ver el partido contra el Energy FC.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us.
Welcome back, everyone, as we're in the middle of a lightning delay. As Energy is up right now 2-1 over Real Monarchs. Still 88th minute of play, George, and we have to wait to see how we're going to play those final 2+ minutes and stoppage time, whatever's added by the referee.
Yeah, and it's the right move. I know some people will say, well, the game was just about to end. But when you have something like that lurking and then you have metal bleachers, you want to get everybody out there and evacuate as quickly as possible. So it's the right move to call the game off for now, and hopefully the Lightning will pass without any incident, no one will be hurt, and then we can finish the game.
Well, now we have to talk about everything before the lightning strike, which was the match that we saw both teams really going at it in the first half. Energy goes down early on in the 22nd minute, but then you start to see them really start to step up and take the lead eventually, courtesy of Cody Andrews' first goal of the season. Let's check out the highlights as far as what's been going on so far. And you're going to see right there that it's been Energy really dictating the pace early on, but not being able to find the net.
Yeah, it was a situation, frustration. I mean, Michael Thomas, great chance there, Dahlgaard with the shot going over. And then just a quick mistake there. Andrews gets caught. Sandoval is able to turn on him, and then Lorendi just had it slip under his glove there.
First
but
goal,
they came back.
First goal of the season for Sandoval. But again, good heads-up play here by Michael Harris. Deep throw. Koenig not offside, being able to use his body, being able to really set himself up for the shot. Tremendous goal. To me, one of the early candidates for goal of the week.
Oh, no doubt about it. It was a fabulous goal, great technique, and a true striker's goal. And then how about this, Cody Andrews, big man, far post, able to finish.
And again, second half, you start to see a Real Monarchs side really showing some character, trying to bounce back. There, the shot by Velasco, and then obviously the aggressiveness by the yellow card. as it was McGovern. And again, Koenig using his body, controlling the ball, and being able to find the near post. But Lalo Fernandez coming up huge, the young Mexican goalkeeper.
Yep.
Again, Koenig finding, and again, that was a story, kind of repetitive because he controlled the tempo and really helped a lot.
Well, this situation here, if Bonner is a step faster going forward, or he's maybe a step, maybe about 5 inches to his right and a little bit further up, it's an easy tap in for Bonner, and it's 3-1, and then it's game over. But Koenig and another player a few minutes later went down the side and basically did the same thing again. So you're seeing the confidence from Koenig. And when a striker scores a great goal like that, the confidence just goes through the roof, and they feel like that they can take on anyone. And it's unfortunate for Koenig that he didn't get a second goal, but you can see the creativity and the confidence is there.
What a difference you do see with Danny Koenig now after scoring goals in back-to-back matches and seeing him really step up in a big way and really compared to when he was going through his scoring drought, really not too sure, not too assertive when he was able to create things. What a difference just goal scorers have, and it's just the ups and downs of being a number 9.
Oh, of course, absolutely. The great ones, they go up. They have their slumps, and then they have their hot streaks where they score every time they touch the ball. But one thing we were talking about earlier in the season, Juan, was remember how we were talking about Energy FC struggling to score goals, but their defense was solid. It's keeping them in the Western Conference playoff hunt. Now with the game against San Antonio last week with Colin Bonner scoring, and then this game with Koenig scoring, the things are starting to go the way of Energy FC, and especially that first half, the way they were able to build the attack, the goals are starting to come, and that's scary for the rest of the Western Conference.
Exactly, and it's a very scary proposition, not only for that, but also to a lesser extent, it's the fact that you do have Energy playing their 8th game. There's many others, such as LA Galaxy, too, that have already played 11.
Yeah.
You do have that advantage, but obviously the greater advantage is to be able to take advantage of those matches in hand. We'll see if they can do that, but that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're going to take a break. When we'll have a chance to see if we will return as far as the rest of the match will being played. We will let you know, and we will keep you informed as to what's going on. But in the meantime, it's the 88th minute of play, and Energy FC are up 2-1 over Real Monarchs.
Attention, please. When play resumes, Real Monarch substitution number 22, Darian Copeland, will replace 4, Riley McGovern. For 22, Darian Copeland will start the restart. For number 2, correction, for number 4, Riley McGovern.
And after a bit of a delay and, well, getting the all clear, we're ready for the final 2 minutes of action here at Taft Stadium A mighty empty Taft Stadium as most of the fans, well, decided to shift their focus towards the home front as both teams getting ready. As you see right there, match was suspended in the 88th minute. Of course, you see those guys there. Seems like they never leave, like they're always there. That's a good sign for Energy fans all over and Energy faithful all over. But again, George, going back to what was going on through the first 88 minutes before the match was suspended, you did see Energy really being the team that dictated the pace, that dictated the style of play, but in the end, they were just dropping back and holding on for dear life.
Yeah, in the very last 2 or 3 minutes of the match before the lightning delay, the Energy were just absorbing a lot of pressure. Set pieces were coming in, crosses coming in, as the Monarchs were just trying to get a late equalizer to come out of here with a point. And they were able to stave them off. They were able to fight it off. But now with these last minute and a half, both teams will be pretty well rested. So we'll see how the Monarchs respond, and we'll see what Energy FC can do here to pick up these 3 points. I'd like to see them catch Real on a counterattack and then finish and get another goal, but we'll see what happens there. It was a good sign for Energy that they were able to control most of the tempo for the game, especially in that first half when they really were playing some attractive football, attractive soccer.
So we are waiting to get the indication from referee Greg Dobka as far as what goes on, and Jimmy Nielsen giving final indications to his side about what to do, to be focused, to look at it as a different game, despite it only being 2 minutes plus whatever stoppage time. It'll probably be around 3 to 4 minutes, so total about 5-6 minutes that will be played. Probably the warm-up was longer than
what's left,
amount of time that's being played, which is a bit hard to wrap your head around, but still, nonetheless, it is what it is. It's part of the game, and they have to retool and refocus for the task at hand. Jimmy Nielsen, of course, looking for a second consecutive win, something that has not happened so far this season, and more importantly, you see them looking to not only win for a second consecutive time, but to go up in the standings even more and try and get into the playoff picture and get deeper into the playoff picture, as now that you start to see Energy make their move, ends up being a very interesting race, even more so in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to picking up these points right here. Western Conference is still wide open, so anytime OKC Energy, especially at home, can defend their home turf, pick up 3 points, it's important. And remember, last season they were one of the better teams at home. So, and they finished second in the Western Conference last year. So, it's not unusual for them to be out of the playoff mix, or I should say, it's not unusual for them to be in the playoff mix.
I thought you were going to start singing there, but anyway,
No.
that's another thing. As
That's
play
Tom
resumes, and Energy with a deep throw in into Monarchs' half of the pitch, and still no one really being able to control the ball. And of course, now we start talking about possession, we start talking about a lot of other factors, but that really goes by the wayside with the amount of time that's left. It's Cavita sending that ball deep. Sandoval can't control it, and you start to see both sides looking to battle through. Here's again the ball from Koenig deep into their own area. 2 Energy players are running at it. Here's Koenig.
Yes, nice.
Hooking up. Gonzalez looking for Koenig, and it goes just wide. And now the answer starting to brew up here for Real Monarchs. The run being made down that far side is Andrew Brody trying to put that ball into the area. 88-29, 88-30 as we begin that countdown towards stoppage time. How many minutes will there be? Well, that is the big question. We'll find out shortly. But in the meantime, it's OKC Energy looking to hold on. Real Monarchs looking to try and get that equalizer and come away with a road point. Again, the ball going through and stumbling there, and it'll be a goal kick for Energy FC. And meanwhile, see a couple of pleas for a booking, but they're not going to get it.
Yeah, Welshman is looking for.
Welshman was looking, yeah.
He's got no argument there.
No, not at all.
There.
As you see right there.
And well.
Well, the arm.
Andrew's pulling on him a little bit, but
right there
he
you
let
see,
go before he went down. So yeah.
In other words, Welshman kind of realized a little too late, and that's what happens.
Well,
So
he tried to sell it. You know what professional footballers do? Try to sell it, try to get a penalty.
And why not if you can? Here's a deep ball, but all for naught, as it will be a foul in favor of Energy FC. At this point, what you would do is probably drop that ball back, try and freeze it a little bit more, try and freeze play, and hold it as best you can.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sideline.
Biscoff.
There'll be a minimum of
3 minutes of stoppage time being given by the referee. So about 3 minutes starting right now. And it'll be again Koenig, who's played tremendously today. And to me, man of the match for Danny Koenig because of the work he's done. Not just the goal, which was sensational, but all the other work that he's done holding the ball, creating opportunities for his teammates, and those types of situations really put him in that category.
It's hard to argue against that. He's been excellent in this game. Obviously, the goal was spectacular, and then the way he's been able to penetrate and slice up that Monarchs defense, it's hard to argue with that. I could see him winning man of the match performance.
And taking it to the flag is Wojcik. Gonzalez twirling around, can't keep it in bounds, and trying to strike quickly. As it's Real Monarchs here with Sandoval. He can't keep it in. It'll be back in possession of Energy FC. As neither team really getting a clear, concise chance, but as far as Energy is concerned, well, they don't need that.
Yeah, they don't need to be. They don't need to. They just need to hold on to possession and kill this game off. And the best way to do it is to keep it in your attacking third. Keep the Monarchs defense on their heels and kill the clock off. You don't want to be defending the last 3 minutes. You want to be on the attack, and that's what it seems like Energy is doing right now.
And more importantly, they're not just keeping possession; they're keeping Monarchs pretty much on their own half of the pitch.
Right,
they haven't been able to.
Right, exactly.
They haven't been able to.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get possession themselves and move the ball forward. So, and that's what you do when you're on the attack and you're putting that kind of pressure on the attack. You keep the ball away from Monarchs, and that keeps them from building goal-scoring opportunities. So that's huge.
And another throw-in opportunity is Gonzalez says, "Okay, I'll take my time." Koenig, good option as he'll just stave off the defense for as long as possible. Keeps it in bounds. Good plays. Many expected him to go to goal. Here's another chance. The opportunity for Highland. The shot. The score.
There it is. That's what you do.
And that's exactly what you do, as it's 3-1 for Energy FC in stoppage time. Kyle Highland with his first of the season, killing off any chances for Real Monarchs. But again, it's a combination of a lot of things, starting with Danny Koenig and ending with Kyle Highland.
Yes, and it's well done by Energy FC. But remember, for a team that needs a goal, a lot of Monarch players are pushed up high. Look at how much space and room Highland has to operate and get into the penalty area and score that goal. So while the defense, you have to give credit to Energy FC for them creating that opportunity, Koenig working hard. You have to wonder what the Monarchs were doing in terms of defending. You can't leave spaces like that open, especially when you don't have the ball.
Sandoval trying to slalom through the entire Energy defense. He does take it down the line. It will be a corner kick. But at this point, 3-1 makes it a bit anticlimactic, even academic at this point for Energy. Just a question of trying to pretty much run out the clock. And a very good bit of news for Energy FC as they get their second consecutive win, or they're on the heels of obtaining their second consecutive win. And more importantly, you start to see more than one player being involved in the goal scoring process as the shot going out into the street. And that should pretty much wrap it up for Energy, as the recently entered Darian Copeland pretty much sends it out. It'll be pretty much the end of the match. And that is it.
Yep.
Energy FC come away with a 3-1 victory. The third goal coming in stoppage time off of the foot of Kyle Highland. A great victory for Energy FC, and more importantly, they get further up in the standings. They skip over, they leapfrog over this same Real Monarchs side, and they start a 2-match winning streak, and a great bit of good news for all Energy faithful as you start to see them really get into a playoff position.
Yeah, well, they belong in the playoff positions. This is a playoff caliber team. We have to see what happens over the course of the season. But as you mentioned it, 2 straight wins and 3 straight wins in all competition. And it's a good sign going forward, especially when they have that U.S. Open Cup match coming up against the Rio OKC.
Of course, that'll be one of several matches that Energy will have, and it's been a very trying and a very physical past few days for Energy FC. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we return with the post-game report brought to you by UCO's NBA.
I don't think any city in America has come as far as fast as Oklahoma City. And the reason you see so many highly educated 20-somethings move into the city is that vibe, is that energy.
And we want to be a part of that. We believe our MBA program is just as vital, it's just as interesting, and just as engaging as other parts of people's lives. We can provide students with this incredible opportunity to learn in the places where they're living, working, and playing.
Welcome back, and again, this is the post-game report brought to you by UCO's Downtown MBA. Connect to the future of business. Finish your MBA from Central in just 22 months. Visit mba.uco.edu to learn more. George, a big win for Energy, and they continue going up in the standings. They continue improving their form. That upward swing is really a very steep one as far as their form is concerned. Gotta like what you're seeing.
Yeah, you gotta like what you're seeing for sure, especially in that first half. 3 goals, that's their highest scoring total of the season. That's the most goals they've scored in a game this season. That's a positive sign going forward. And we mentioned it at the beginning of the season. They were struggling to score goals, but the defense was solid. Now that the goals are starting to come, they become much more dangerous because we know in the back they're solid with Hedrick and Andrews. Now Koenig is scoring. Bonner is getting involved. It's a good sign for Energy as the season progresses.
Let's check out the highlights of the matches. It was, again, a big win for Energy, and they started coming out of the gate pretty quick. Michael Thomas here being denied by Lalo Fernandez.
Yeah, it could have been 4 or 5 in favor of Energy, and they could have had 2 goals within the first maybe 15, 20 minutes. This is just unlucky there. After Lorendi had a great game against San Antonio, just a little bit unlucky, but then the equalizer came quickly.
Great heads-up play there by Michael Harris. The spot that Danny Koenig was way behind the defense, but, of course, off of the throw-in, no offside, but everything else that he did was, just watch, enjoy.
Yeah, it was great. A brilliant goal.
And then finally, Energy would take the lead. The eventual game winner would come off of the head of Cody Andrews, his first of the season. In the second half, you would see a bit of a comeback or being more resolute was Real Monarchs.
Yeah. Well, you saw that chance there by Velasco. Yeah. He was null and void in this game, and that really helped Energy going forward.
And you see, again, Danny Koenig, to me, the man of the match, as he was really a very dangerous player on the opposite side. Not only just creating opportunities like the one we just saw and the goal we just saw, but doing this.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't go in the back of the net, but it just shows how productive and how confident he is with the ball at the feet right now.
Yeah, and as long as he has service going forward, he's going to be effective. And then the lightning delay came. But you got to like how Energy FC came out and responded in these final 5 minutes, obviously with the 3 minutes of injury
and
time.
One thing we didn't see in this replay, we did see the pass from Gonzalez in the middle of Wojcik and finally the finish by Highland. How was that all created? A throw-in, and it was a ball that was held by Danny Koenig, and then he started everything on the opposite side. You see the final stats for this match. Again, Energy really is imposing themselves and really doing a great job and really reestablishing themselves as a team on a mission, a team that had all the expectations they had.
I don't think reestablishing is the right word because they already were a big-time Western Conference playoff contender.
Very true,
I think what it was is that they just had to kind of get out of whatever little funk they had in terms of goal scoring.
That's exactly right.
And when you see the shots and the shots on goal, they could have had 4 or 5 in this game. They really could have dominated the Monarchs in terms of the goals. So it's good to see them going forward and creating chances. You create chances, you're going to get goals.
And those that create become men of the match, and we're going to find out with Brent Skarkey who our man of the match is.
Man of the match.
We are joined on the field by the man of the match, Cody Andrews. And Cody, what a game. Have you ever been involved in something like that, the weather delays and all that stuff?
I mean, maybe, but it shows a lot of character for the team to come back, get back on the field after a long delay, get that goal, solidify the win, and, have a good ending to a long stretch of games here.
You had a goal yourself, had to feel good to find the back of the net with the header there.
Absolutely. As a defender, finding the back of the net isn't always, you know, they don't come in bunches, so when I can do it, it's great.
What's it say about this team? 4 games, 10 days, tired legs, still get the victory.
It says a lot about our character. We got a lot of hungry guys out here, and, you know, we just need to keep pushing.
Cody, appreciate it. Man of the match, Cody Andrews. Energy get the victory, 3-1.
Energy fans, don't.
So a great victory for Energy and a very heartbreaking performance after a win against Orange County Blues. So again, your final score from Taft Stadium, it's Energy FC 3, Real Monarchs 1. So for George DeMatteis and everyone that makes it all possible here, thank you very much for watching. See you next time here on Energy FC TV. Peace.
Stretched out to the middle, back to
Broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score!
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.